one. And we're live here with Real News, and it's another impeachment drama coming to an end. Trump acquitted again. He's 2-0, and we now have 7 more Republicans added to the cuck list, to the primary list. And I think it's Toomey, Murkowski, that dude from North Carolina, and a few others. So at least Toomey is retiring, and we won't see his face ever again. Well, ever again in Congress, I should say. But the full list is Burr, Collins, Cassidy, Murkowski, Romney, of course, Sass, and Toomey. So that's our cuck list, Senate cuck list. I mean, we're probably not surprised here that he got off, but now they're trying to push the 14th Amendment, Section 3, to bar him from public office. I don't know if they can do that, but apparently that's the thing they're trying to pull.
Wait, how does that work? What is that? What is that wording of the 14th Amendment, Section 3?
Okay, I will pull that up because I was actually looking at that earlier today. 14th. It's a section that basically says that there's a way you can prevent people from running for public office. And it reads as follows. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of the state legislature or as an executive judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid to to the enemies thereof. But Congress may be a vote of 2/3 of each house to remove such disability. So basically, you have to have done an insurrection or rebellion to be banned.
So would they actually have to charge him with a crime to do that?
I think you would have to in the courts.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yep.
I think they already tried that with the fucking impeachment.
The Chief Justice didn't even want this fucking impeachment thing. How the hell are they gonna get? How are they gonna pull this off?
I don't think they will.
This. Nobody bought it. Nobody bought the impeachment trial outside of like a very weird fringe left. Like nobody took this thing seriously.
Dude, my mom was watching it like 24/7. She was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get him." I'm like, "No, sorry, it's not gonna happen." I think the Democrats really were they wanted to really just stick it to Trump, and they were still butthurt over this thing. Like, can you imagine? It's been over a month, and if you've watched any news at any point in time over the past few days, you would have seen that footage from the Capitol again and again and again and again. I mean, they're gonna keep it going for like the rest of this month. I think you'll still see footage of that shit.
The problem is it's gonna hurt them. It's eventually gonna hurt them. Like, because nobody gives it. Like, the majority of people out there just don't give a shit. They don't care. It's not like it's not like I'm not even sure they argue whether he's wrong or if he's right. Like the majority of the Americans just don't give a shit. They're like, who cares? Who the fuck cares? I got work. I'm trying to get back to work.
Right.
Bills to pay. I don't give a shit about any of this. Like,
they want a stim pack, not impeachment.
They want let's end this shit, okay? I don't care about the fucking impeachment.
Right.
Give me my $1,400.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too. It's like they're gonna keep Trump in the mainstream. Like, he's on the news cycle, so he's not even president. Like, they're literally working against themselves because now people are probably getting pissed off about this whole thing going on. They're like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck these people who suggested
it's gonna bite. You're right, and it's gonna bite them in the ass. It's gonna totally bite them in the ass, especially if Joe Biden can't deliver that fucking $1,400 the stimulus like he said he was gonna fucking do. Well, he originally said 2,000, but I think they're gonna try to sham the people out of that. Like, go 1,400, like it included with the $1,600, the $600. That's technically $2,000 bucks. But like, Um, but yeah, if Biden can't even deliver that shit, they're gonna be pissed. They'll be like, well, why'd you do this fucking why'd you do this ridiculous impeachment? Why couldn't you get why couldn't you get this job? Why couldn't you open back up the economy or take care of the fucking people like during this pandemic that y'all made up? Like what the fuck? Like, and people are gonna remember. People are gonna notice. People are gonna fucking notice that shit. They're not stupid. They're gonna see right through this bullshit.
I think what they're going to notice too, especially on our side, of course, is that the Republican establishment is worse than ever. You have Mitch McConnell, who is kind of like, Trump's not guilty, but, he's actually really guilty. He's so awful. But I'm not going to vote or anything, but he's guilty. It's like this sort of playing foot on one side, foot on the other, not really taking a hard stance, not really defending him at all. People are going to see that, and they're going to want him out. Whoever is going to primary him, I hope is a stellar candidate. It needs to be a stellar candidate because they could clobber him. They could. They just got to put up the right guy. And these other people, I mean, if they don't resign, if they don't have a super special seat, a super special never Trump state or county, they're going to be gone too because 2022 is going to be a reckoning. As long as there's enough backing for these MAGA populist candidates, and maybe they won't need all of it. Maybe people will be so pissed that they can overcome these things.
I think people are pissed. I think people are pissed, and they're waiting to primary people. You already got Scott Pressler saying he's gonna primary Kinzinger, he's gonna primary Sass, he's gonna primary Liz Cheney. He's going to be looking. They're going to be working to canvas like crazy. Like you pissed people off. Like and these people think that this whole thing is going to blow over. You might want to try. You might want to rethink that stance. Yeah, I just don't. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be one of those things. People remember this shit. People are going to remember this shit for a while. And yeah, these people who Trump basically backed, and then they turned on him when it was convenient. Oh yeah, by the way, fuck you, former government Haley.
Oh
Fuck
yes,
you,
yes.
Nikki Haley. Fuck
yeah,
you.
I think she's screwing her own chances of a 2024 presidential run right now by the way she acted.
Yeah, we need to talk about that because that was the biggest story yesterday. I don't care, well, other than GINA Carano, but this was the biggest story in terms of politics because this is somebody that we've warned about. We know she's a snake. Most people, she's kind of good looking. She's a woman of color. I think she's a great candidate. No. Like, you gotta look into this person. This is the same person I remember very well in 2016 would never back Trump until the very, very, very last minute. She went from like Rubio to Cruz to like all these other people and then was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll vote for Trump. And she didn't say at the time, I'm quote not a fan. And we all remember her claim to fame of taking down the Confederate flag. Who did she blame for the Charleston church shooting?
Trump.
Donald Trump. Yes, she did. Telling you,
Yeah.
she's a total snake. And then yesterday, when the defense team comes out on the impeachment, she comes out and says, I think we should move on from Trump. I think it was a mistake backing this guy. I mean, this was a calculated move. The story came at a calculated time. And I've heard that she's been going around to donors begging for money. Because she's going to run 24. She absolutely is going to run. But she's going to be the Jeb. I think she's going to be the next Jeb. Because she's going to be terrible.
Kick the cucks out. And we need to make it permanent. Like,
Yes.
remember this shit. We need to start publicly documenting all this stuff with all these people. Because, if it's an option between this bitch and a fucking Democrat, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough.
Look,
I might just not fucking vote. I don't know.
I'm the same way. It'd be a tough one for me. And I'll say this: if anybody thinks we're wrong that's listening, just read this Political article. I'll find some quotes out of it for you. But trust me, Nikki Haley is not our friend. She's just as bad as the Democrats, blaming Trump for shootings that were not his fault. Saying that I'm not a fan of Trump, but then gets a UN job with him after she sucks up. And maybe she did a good job, I don't know, but it's all about her. It's not about you, it's all about her. I'm gonna look through this article, but I'm telling you, she's the worst. She's one of the worst. She's gonna run. Like, she's gonna do it. It's just, will people buy her bullshit?
Well, the college Republican types will.
Oh, they love her. Oh my god. I had to keep yelling at them for the past few weeks. Every time they would go, "Oh my god, I want Nikki Haley in 24. Oh my god, dream ticket." Oh. And I'm like, no.
She fucking runs. Literally, I don't know, man. That'll be the worst thing for the Republicans, because you're gonna have Trump still has fucking even after this, people will still remember these people. And there will be enough if it's a close race with a Democrat, not even a close race. If it's anywhere
the big question is going to be, though, who's going to run against her in the primary?
I hope it's based DeSantis. He's the best, the best we got.
If it's Trump or DeSantis, she's fucked.
Yes.
If it's one of these, if it's one of these cucks, one of these rhino cucks. Then she probably will. She'll probably stand a chance. But yeah, I think it's either I think if either Trump or DeSantis runs, she's fucked.
Well, you know what I've been doing recently, because I've been trying to get a feel for things. I've been asking people, well, not asking people, but I've been saying because I've had some volunteers from the campaign still texting me. And they'd be saying stuff. I'd be like, yeah, I really like DeSantis, or I think DeSantis would be the front runner in 24 if Trump doesn't run. And everybody has told me, oh, I really like him. Oh, I wish I lived in Florida. He has the best appeal. He's a power player. He's a governor. And he knows how the game works. And he's a powerful, tough voice. He's got that Trump persona. Maybe a little more refined, which I guess some people will like. A little bit more politician-y talk, which I don't personally, it's not my biggest thing I love, but I think he has a strong appeal. I think if he gets more into the mainstream, if he starts doing some bigger power plays and gets into the mainstream, he could be unstoppable. He could easily get the nomination, easily be the front runner, and has a good chance of winning. But Nikki Haley will never be president. I cannot see her winning, but people will try to, get her bullshit sold to you.
You know who one of my new favorite people in Congress is right now? One of my new favorite newly elected Florida Representative Byron Donalds. Fantastic, man, boy. The first time he went on the floor, man, he fucking nailed it. He just nailed it, because they were talking about the stimulus bill, and he was basically, and this is a guy before politics. He worked in finance. He worked in economics. This is somebody who has a lot more credibility from that sort of endeavor. And he was no, reopen the economy, his speech was very, very, very good. I was thoroughly impressed.
I haven't heard of him before, but
because he's new. He just got elected this year.
That's good. Man, Florida just turns out the best people. I mean, Jesus.
Wow.
Summertime.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, this guy specifically, I like him, just because they need more people. They need more people like him that have actually worked in in that sector that are, that are Republicans that actually get it, yeah, what a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I like that. And reminds me of something Bannon said when AOC was coming to stardom, and Bannon was like, look, we need more bartenders. We need more, working class people running for Congress. And that's what I like to see, small business people or people that have just been in any business. It doesn't have to be small, it can be big business. As long as it's not the big bad business that brings illegal labor and whatnot. But that's what I think is really good, seeing these fresh faces come in, like Lauren Boebert, CH Wilbauer. But what's good is she's literally like an AOC. She's a bartender, restaurant worker, and comes into Congress with a big bold message, and she's great. I mean, we need more of that. That's the kind of stuff I like. It's part of that populist, revolution that we've all been talking about. That's finally starting to kind of more take form. Because in the midterms, we didn't really see it, but now you're starting to kind of see it. But I found the Haley quotes, and she said, we need to acknowledge that Trump let us down. He went down a path he shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him, and we shouldn't have listened to him, and we can't let that ever happen again. Blah, 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 blah. When I tell you I'm angry, it's an understatement. I'm so disappointed in the fact that despite the loyalty and friendship he had with Mike Pence, that he would do that to him. Like, I'm disgusted by it. Oh, he's got a big bully pulpit. He should be responsible with it. Oh.
So who would okay, so if here's a fair question. So say Trump were to run again, right? Say Trump were to run again in 2024. Who's the VP? Because obviously it's not Mike Pence. Like, so who is it?
God, that's actually hard now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Shoot. Because it's got to be someone like Mike, to win over that demographic.
Would he have Lindsey Graham as
No way. No.
Nope.
No, you can't trust that guy.
Nope. I don't think they're on good terms either. But,
yeah. Because I know Junior even tweeted some stuff that wasn't so nice about Lindsey Graham recently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, see that's what I'm saying is like that January 6th was a turning point. I mean, I don't want to say he can't run again because obviously he literally can, but it makes it a hell of a lot harder in more ways than one. I don't know who he'd pick though. Actually, might be somebody we aren't super familiar with.
No, I think it's not as hard as originally as we thought. Because he has a record now, and he has a very good one. And that's what we're gonna go. And the more down the shitter this place goes, the better he starts looking, right? Like, yeah, because this thing's gonna, this Biden administration is gonna tank. It's gonna tank, and the more it does, the better Trump looks, right? They're gonna be like, oh, the economy's all blown to shit. Inflation, tax increases, all that shit, like everything's gonna go all up to hell, and Trump is gonna look amazing compared to anything that they throw in his direction. Like, I think he won't struggle at all, and he's capable. He has shown. He's also shown a record of defending religion, defending the right to life, defending most of the stuff that people were thought that he might not have, he might have wavered on, but he's actually done it. Like, he's actually has that record. Originally, Pence was the good pick because Trump was an unknown. Trump was an unknown, so you were going to need somebody to kind of follow him from a credibility standpoint to get the evangelical vote, whatever. Now he has a record. Now and it's a very good one. So they're not gonna need to really. I don't think he's really gonna need somebody like a Mike Pence. He could pick whoever he wants to, really, as long as it's not like a loose cannon. I mean,
what if you threw Ben Carson in there?
If I don't know if
I
he
don't
would
think
take the
so.
job, but I mean,
Let's
oh
see.
boy,
Of all
that would be
people, he seems like did he ever like quit?
No.
no.
He was never fired. Like he's the only one over there who's like kind of more, very
Loyal.
new.
Yeah,
He's loyal, and he could go and help with the Blackfoot if anything.
yeah.
Yeah, I think still he needs that. I mean,
I like. By the way, I would if Ben Carson would do it, I would absolutely love that pick because he's like big. Not only because he's one of the most accomplished African Americans in American history, but like he is a devout Christian. He's like if you're looking for somebody like that would be a really good pick. But he would have to he would have to want it, and I'm not sure he would. I don't.
you know,
He'd be an effective. It's like vanilla ice cream, which is ironic. You can add to anything. Make into a sundae. You can add it with any other flavor, and it doesn't really overtake it. And he's not very outspoken, so I think he'd be, he'd do the job.
And he's supremely intelligent.
And as a vice president,
Supremely.
what job are you really supposed to do? You're there in case something ever happens to the big guy, basically, and you can do some, smaller projects, but that's about it.
I actually think Trump would never pick Carson because you need somebody that understands the political system very well and somebody that can basically help you make deals with these people, because Pence's job really is to run the Senate. I mean, the vice president's job is like to make these speeches everywhere, and that's pretty much it. But the real job of that particular person is to, run the Senate. And
you know who I want to. I mean, obviously it wouldn't happen, but like who I want probably would be Matt Gaetz, because like I mean, he's just incredible. Like and he would ruin anybody in a debate. He would ruin, like it would just be marvelous to watch. It would just that like he would be as marvelous. Whoever Kamala Harris would pick as a vice president, like that would be like he would ruin whoever. Oh my god, it'd be amazing. But
yeah, he's presidential material. I think after DeSantis runs and hopefully wins, Gates will do a run.
Yeah,
he's so good.
I want him to stay in Florida just because he's done such a magnificent job in Florida. Like I'm not sure that there's a better governor out there than DeSantis right now.
Yeah,
he's probably the best governor in the United States.
Well, actually, it gave me a thought. Who would kind of fit the bill of what Trump needs, but I don't know if he fully trusts them for a VP, would actually be Ted Cruz.
That's what I was thinking too. I mean, I think that would be good. So that would hit the conservative market. That would hit the establishment market. And of all the people, honestly don't mind him that much.
Like, I personally think Ted Cruz is the type of guy that says what people want to hear and really is more bark than bite. And that's just my opinion. Yeah, he's very, very politician-y. So was Pence, though. So he's kind of like a younger Pence, but Pence is hard to beat.
I think Pence, like at least with Ted Cruz, like one, he's very smart. Like he's got a fucking law degree, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Harvard, I think.
And he's very, very conservative. Like especially with the gun stuff. Like I think his thing was like the frying bacon with a machine gun or something.
Based.
Main video.
Yeah.
I know that there was some beef between them at one point. I don't know if they're still beefing, but I know at one point there was definitely some bad blood between those two.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he trusts them. I personally wouldn't, but I don't know who else there would be. I mean, if I had a full list in front of me, like I could probably make a better pick. But the thing that's interesting from people I've talked to, they like, especially these evangelicals, they'll be like, not the biggest fan of Trump, but man, I'm glad Mike's in there. It's like it really hits a very interesting market. Like I know that I understand the pick. Like from when he did it, I always thought, oh, okay, trying to get the evangelical vote because he was doing terribly with evangelicals at the time, and that helped fill him out more, fill out the ticket, and also maybe get some more establishment people or some people that are a little, not like us. We're more rough and tumble and can handle people that have a more interesting personality. So it kind of brings those people in, but I think you still kind of have to do that with this. It's that's actually a very interesting question. Like, who would he pick? If he can't pick Pence, because that's interesting. But
Oh yeah, he wouldn't want to pick Pence.
yeah,
No, I think Pence. That's a bridge burned. That is
yeah.
a bridge burned.
Well, I'm wondering too, what's going to happen with Pence after the, you know, what's he going to do? Is he just going to be done with politics, or is he going to try to run again? What's his?
I think he's done. Personally, he's
Mhm.
old. He's probably thought this is enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
I
if
could
he
be
tried
wrong.
to do you think Pence would try to make a run for president?
If what happened on January 6th didn't happen, absolutely. After what happened then, no. He split the base. There are people that hate him and love him now. We all used to love him. Now it's 50-50. Like, there's a lot of people that think he's a traitor. There's a lot of people think, oh, what could he have done? So it's too split. And then that's the thing with a Haley run too, is like it splits the base like tremendously. There's people like us that hate her, and then there's these people like, oh no, she's a woman of color. She'd be great. Own the libs that way, right, guys? It's like
Yeah, it's
no.
knock your shield shut.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's so silly because look, I'm the first guy that will always say like optics. Like let's beat them at their own game. Let's play on their own rules and beat them at their own rules. I look, I love for like a Latina to run that's like more Trump than Trump. I think it'd be killer. But
See, that sounds like when you're saying shit like that, that makes it sound like the same stuff that the left is saying, though.
what I'm saying is the difference is between what they do and what I'm proposing is that I look at it as we need all these qualifications first. We need somebody that has the right policies, the right charisma, all that stuff. And then the bonus that's a good bonus is the demographic stuff. It's just like you were saying, like with picking Carson and whatnot. That's what I'm saying. Is like I like that extra icing on the cake. If it can happen. If it can, it can't. Because I don't look at that. It's like the last thing I look at when voting for somebody. But I know optically, how these things are played. It matters.
I mean, look. I mean, like, I. Let's see here. I kind of. I mean, there's certain people that like I don't. There's certain people that I look at. I'm like, okay, well, who could fit that bill? And there's like some names but I don't know if they're um I look at Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami. Like he's done a dude, that he's a Republican and did a fantastic job with Miami. Holy God, did he do a great job with Miami? Um, but would he would he run? I mean, he's really smart, really well spoken, really like I mean, top to bottom, he looks solid, but just like I think you're gonna want somebody. I get what you're saying. Like you might want somebody that's more in the weeds of of the Republican Party. Somebody a little bit more established, I guess. But like, ooh, I don't know. See, there's another thing. Like, the establishment is not a hot ticket anymore. Like, the Republican establishment, they aren't exactly on good terms right now. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's one of those things. Like, well, I I'm not sure.
I mean, yes, but it really wasn't 16 either. But the difference is people don't mostly vote for the VP. And the people that are considering that, you know, getting a more established person that's established but is still MAGA is what you want. But we'll see. I mean, I think 2022 is going to be very interesting because we could gain a lot, could gain nothing, could lose some. It's going to be a crazy midterm. It's going to be a reckoning.
I think 2022, how 2022 is operated will tell us. We'll probably lay the groundwork for what's going to happen in 2024. Like I think if we see like how is 2022 going to happen? Like is Trump, if Trump starts doing rallies in 2022, I think we could see some pretty exciting times come 2024.
Yeah.
Because people are going to, the buzz will, if he does another, if he does another set of rallies, the buzz will be brewing. Like, and if he does say he's going to run again, oh my God, the entire country is going to come unglued. Like, it's just going to be great.
Honestly, I think if he starts rallying again, I think that the establishment will try to remove him from the picture.
They can do.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just wondering how you think they might do it.
Oh, they're going to sabotage him at every step. Every step they will sabotage him.
I think they would go and resort to less than legal means to take him out of the picture. If it came down to it, and then no other options. I think that they see, they do not like what happened. They won't want to see it again. I think they would go and do some shady CIA level stuff.
Ooh.
Maybe team up with the Biden camp to go and get rid of them.
I think what they're going to first start doing, you're going to see is probably happen over the next few weeks, is they're going to start suing him in every way they imaginably can. They're going to sue him for insurrection, sue him for inciting violence, sue him for defamation over election fraud claims. They're going to try and bankrupt him.
Now, if he's in Florida, are you going to sue president for shit he did while in office?
Nope.
I've heard you can. I mean, will just get thrown out?
Who would it go? Will it go to the Supreme Court at that point?
I don't know.
Yeah, who would take that up?
I mean, here's the other thing too, is they won't just look into that. They're going to look into his business. They're going to look into everything they can. And they've tried this before, but they're going to go even deeper. And they're going to go after his kids too, because I think some of his kids are thinking of running or thinking of doing something somewhere, somehow. So they're going to go after the whole family. And legal, they're going to go through the courts. And I mean, I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, but I feel what you're feeling too, where they will probably try to do some CIA tier stuff.
I bet you Trump's got a couple chess moves up his sleeve though.
I think he's been prepping for all this over these past few weeks because he knows what's coming. But it's gonna be wild because they know he's an unstoppable force, and they're scared of that.
Do you think he might go and run for Senate?
Well, I love the theory somebody came up with in DC Drano came up with, which is in Florida they are redistricting it there, where there's going to be a new district, and theoretically what he could do, which would be awesome, is he runs for a House seat and then becomes Speaker of the House, and then has the control of the House and is pissing him off every day for 2 years, and then runs for president, and then pisses him off for 4 more years.
If they did that, they'd probably just remove him or do whatever they did or they're trying to do with that Marjorie Greene girl.
Right. Well, they only took her off committees, committees. But
don't you need to remove to go and just get someone out?
You need. I don't. We looked into that. I don't. Can you do that? I can't remember. I don't think you can do that. Yeah, you can't do that. You have to either die, resign, or there's some third thing, I think.
I thought like you was it the full like 2/3 of both houses like an actual impeachment or whatever.
It's something where like you have to do some. Okay, we'll Google it. We'll do live fact checking. How a congressman can be removed from office. There you go. Expulsion. That's the word. So
Expelliarmus.
yeah, you're gonna cast a spell on them.
God, I remember when I first heard that word when I was watching Harry Potter. I thought it had to do with wizards and shit, and I was like, "Oh, this is a real thing." Why the fuck do they call it expelled?
I don't know. Ask J.K. Rowling. Let's see. Article. Come on, get to the point. Let's see. You have to break the law and be convicted of it. So yeah, I guess it's death, resignation, or expulsion. And to be expelled, you actually have to break the law and be convicted of it in a
Does
court.
that have to be while you're in office, or could it be? Or are they going to try to go and try for? They're going to keep doing that. I would think double jeopardy would apply at some point too.
And in both branches, in both not branches, houses, House and the Senate, it requires 2/3 vote.
I'm interested. Like, can they try him again for that impeachment? Like for the not impeachment for the riot or whatever? Because
I mean, technically, there's no double jeopardy in America.
There is no double jeopardy.
Yeah, so the Third Amendment guarantees, I think.
Oh no! I meant like, yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think the double jeopardy clause would prevent that. But then here's the weird thing too, because then I hear like they've done it before where it's like state versus federal, but I guess it had to be federal for something like this.
Right. Yeah. That's what's legal. And this is what I want to make clear too, is like the legal system's so complicated. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything. I'm just guessing, but there's just so many weird, like, the law is kind of a thing. It feels like if you work hard enough, there's a way to screw somebody over with it.
Yeah, that's truth, man. There's always fucking little loopholes and shit people get through. You have to know it, and that's why lawyers get paid so much money.
Yeah. Well, speaking of rules, though, did you see, and I have it up right now to show that it's still here, on the CDC's website, they changed a tiny little rule here on masks where they say if you're using a cloth mask, you now need to wear a surgical mask. They call it disposable, but I think they make it look like a surgical in the picture underneath it. So,
Wait, so you need to or you should?
well, it's what they tell you. They say 2 layers. I mean, yeah, it's under the section do. Okay, do add layers of material. 2 ways to layer. Use a cloth mask that has multiple layers of fabric where one disposable underneath a cloth mask. So these cloth masks, which we said were ineffective and were useless, but the CDC was saying, oh, they're fine. They're perfectly fine. Now they're like, oh, wait, no, they're not. You need another one beneath it.
I think what we need is another like anti-mask bullshit rally. Because like they keep changing the rules and they've known this I bet they knew this from the beginning. They knew from the beginning that we should wear masks, and they told us straight up to our face, fucking, Fauci, fuckhead Fauci said, "Oh, you don't need to wear a mask." And guess what? He lied, and he knew he was putting people at risk because he knew you should, but he wanted to go protect the people in the healthcare industry. He should have just said out front,
I understand why he said that, because people would panic buy, but
you should not lie. That you shouldn't lie about shit like that. There's people who, could have died, could have got the virus because they listened to Fauci.
Right. Assuming the masks work.
Assuming they work, which, I don't know, man. We'll wait 6 months because that's what he said. They don't work. It's just, if you want to work, go ahead, but it's not important. Then guess what? Like a month later, oh yeah, you got to wear a mask. They wonder why people don't trust the government. Why they aren't trusting Fauci and the CDC. It's because they say shit like this. They go back and forth.
Yeah. And I bet a part of it is they had no clue about some stuff going into this and they're figuring it out. But
Dude, they knew they had SARS back in like the early 2000s in China, and that's why if you go like before the COVID at Penn State, you'd see all these like Chinese like students over here. They'd always wear masks if they were sick.
yeah, that's true. I remember when I first saw that, I was so confused. I'm like, why are they wearing masks? Are they like coming off a construction site, cutting some wood or something? Like, it made no sense to me. And then I realized, oh, they're sick, I guess. I noticed it because once I had to go to the Penn State Health Center, I had to put one on when I had like a sore throat or something, or I had fever, and they said I had to wear one. But I think honestly, I bet there's a chance they can prevent you from getting the virus if you're wearing an N95 and maybe a surgical one. I don't think the cloths do anything. But I think it's way more effective with stopping you from spreading it. But even then, I think it can still be spread.
Why are they telling people to go and wear gas masks?
Because nobody has a gas mask.
You can find like no one had these random surgical masks either.
Yeah, but you can mass produce these like
Dude,
way quicker than you can produce gas masks.
Well, look at you know how many like World War II ones we probably had left over in the stockpile.
Just go into
like,
the museum and grab one.
Well, no, like they had them like military surplus stores. Like honestly, I had a fucking guy. I have one somewhere. I have to find it. And then they just have these like little reusable filters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just come throw it in there, and that actually protects you like from getting shit in your eye too.
So that's the key thing, is the eyes, because let's say you have a mask on, somebody sneezes on you, it's gonna go in your eyes. Yeah, it won't go maybe on your mouth, maybe, but it's gonna go in your eyes, so you're screwed. So that's why I say I think a lot of it is to make people feel safer, so that they can kind of go out into society. But at the same time, I really, really, really have. I mean, I've always hated these mask Karens, but man, do I really hate them now. Like, I've never run into one, but I don't know. I've got more red pill on COVID. Like, I started off more cautious, which a lot of people were. 'Cause this was a new thing, very unknown. Best to err on the side of caution. But the more we've learned about it, and then now they're pushing 2 masks. Now they're saying we need to be locked down still. And the National Guard's still in D.C., which is a whole weird thing. Did you see now they're saying that they're going to be there till the fall or the end of the year?
And you know who's paying for that? It's me and you. We're spending. I mean, I to be fair though, I'd prefer us to be in D.C. than the Middle East.
Yeah.
I would prefer that. However, I prefer like it would be real nice if we didn't have them anywhere. You know, we didn't have them in the Middle East. We had them training over here once in a while, you know, in case something happens. But you know, we don't need to be out in the Middle East. We don't need to be out in D.C. They're spending shit tons of money, and like you know, they do all these half-ass measures. I have an inside source, you know. I have an inside source. There was a lot of shady shit that went down there. There were a lot of virtue signaling.
Oh, can you tell us about what happened with the whole situation where they were all sleeping in garages and the pizza? You know, call throwing here on the pizza, throwing them pizzas. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they end up like, you know, they at first they didn't really have anywhere to go and put them, so they had them sleep in their vehicles, sleep in garages, sleep where the hell they were. They'd be working, you know, 12-hour days, just walking around. Nothing was seen throughout this entire time. There was a media lockdown. You know, they wouldn't let them go and talk on social media or anything. It was all hush hush. And then they started vetting these people, like people that they already got vetted when they came over here, and they started picking through every little fucking thing to try weed out people they don't like. Like this whole thing is bullshit from the beginning, you know.
What about the pizza thing?
Oh yeah, and so they had that guy, you know, like he wanted to go and do a photo op. So, oh, why aren't these people eating? Like they had him eat like MREs and shit and like you know basic stuff, and they had whole mountains full of supplies. And you know, then this guy wants to go and order him pizza, and guess how much it costs for just like one meal for all these guys? It was like something like $35,000 for one meal of pizza for everyone, just one fucking meal.
Damn.
$35,000.
Price of
and
a
they
car.
didn't stop with the pizzas, and then they started getting like Chick-fil-A and fucking Jersey Mike's and Subway and all this other stuff. The amount of money that we're spending day to day over there is astronomical. These people don't need to be out in DC, and now they're paying for them to have hotels. Now they're paying them to have hotels, and they've had because they had like COVID outbreaks or whatever with the troops. Something that could have easily been prevented. Like, why do we need all these people here? Why is Joe Biden risking the lives of United States soldiers?
Yes.
Why, Joe? Answer the fucking question.
We'll
Get off
circle
your,
back.
yeah, you gotta get, because they are getting the coronavirus. It's spreading because you have a bunch of soldiers in close proximity of each other. There's no good reason why they should be doing that now. The election already happened. Nothing happened since then. Ever since they set up all the people out there, it was a one-time event. And you're basically living in a fucking fortress. If you're president and you're truly elected by all these people and there's no fraud or anything to be worried about, then why do you need to go and live in a fucking fortress, in a castle, like you're afraid of something?
Because we need force. We need unity by force.
Yeah, Trump, and he was always a pretty divisive president. He never need to go and do half of this shit. And the other thing too, if walls don't work, then why do we have them in DC? Why do we have more border control in in one city than we do on our fucking borders with basically a third world country? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need that? The left says walls don't work, but I guess they do if the walls are in DC. Like they're obviously wrong. Like it's bullshit. And I think the only reason that this is happening is because there's some shady stuff that happened at one point in time, and someone's in a place that they probably don't truly deserve to be in.
It's a very, very weird thing. Like, so combined with the COVID lockdowns and now this, it all feels very, very weird. I can't put my finger quite on what it means, but it's really weird. And now you have two in New York. This is a little bit of a tangent, but Cuomo is now getting a little shit from his own side because they're investigating whether he covered up the nursing home crisis of sending COVID elders to nursing homes with COVID. They're starting to look into it, and I think he's going to get bitten really bad on that. I think that's going to be the end of him.
I mean, to be fair, that's a pretty, my family, I had a great-grandfather who got coronavirus. And he had to get sent to a nursing home because, no, we couldn't, where is he going to go? He went to the hospital, and then when he got better, he still had COVID, but they didn't have enough room in the hospital. Like, to be fair, like, where do you put these people?
Yeah, but he's the one, remember, that said, oh, we need, I forget the boat's name, but that big-ass, boat. We don't have enough hospital space. We need more. Trump sends the boat over. Oh, no, we're good. We didn't overflow our hospitals. You can send the boat back. He was given everything. He had room. He had more than enough room.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. Like, they need to go, like, they did some cover-up, so I'm sure we're going to see that in PA with our, with the Wolf administration. I'm sure you're going to find some evidence of that. There's a lot of mismanagement going on.
Well, look at, we had our Dr. Chris Chan sending, elders in the nursing homes, but, oh, my parents, we got to pull them out.
Yeah, it's fucked. Live in a truly fucked society.
Yeah. Well, why do you think the National Guard are in D.C.? Other than the virtue signal, which is kind of what, was for post-January 6th. Why do you think they're still there and they're going to be there till the fall?
Because I think they know something happened and a certain person is in a certain place and they truly don't deserve to be in that place. And they know the people are upset about that because what happened, and they've covered it up. And you think it's very interesting. You see a lot with this whole thing. I think they pushed that January 6th as a, riot or whatever so that they could stop the steal stuff. Stop with investigations.
Well, did you see they've already found that one dude that was arrested for storming the Capitol was a Fed?
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, Wasn't the Proud Boys guy who was there also a Fed?
Yes, Enrique Tarrio, who was the head of the Proud Boys, I think he's still not the head anymore. He, at one point, got caught with something and then became an FBI informant. And since then, he had to be an informant a few more times. And his defense is like, oh, I never was, ratting on my guys, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. I highly doubt that's the case. I mean,
Okay.
once an informant, always an informant is how I look at it.
He's singing like a bird. You know it.
Yep. Milo was ripping him in his telegram because,
Well, see, you showed me that one like kill stream video, that bit shoot one. They were saying that like
oh,
Milo was apparently a Fed.
no, see,
I'm just claiming that.
that's something that, okay, you know how Milo comes in with these sort of hot takes, to what people will see as hot takes, and you may be like, well, where's the evidence for this? Like when he'll say Richard Spencer's a Fed, or when he'll start trashing on Enrique Tarrio and saying like, don't trust this guy. People will be like, oh, Milo, you don't know what you're talking about. And then other people like me will be like, I trust the guy. I'll take him at his word. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what else comes up. And then you have people that will be like, oh, there's only one way he can know this. There's only one reason he's saying this. It's because he's a Fed. It's him that's the Fed, When you call other people Feds, you start getting called a Fed. And so they start calling him one, which I don't believe for a second. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. He's been visited by the Feds, by the way. Before January 6th, like a day before, he was visited by them. From what I understand, they were basically telling him, you better not go there. So there's some weird stuff. Again, with that January 6th is a very weird thing. And on that kill stream, we can talk about this a little bit because it is a little niche thing, but I think it has rippling effects and can be important. Is if anybody isn't familiar with the Groypers, they basically have a very loose structure, but they basically have Nick Fuentes running the show as this America First Groyper movement, and they have like Groyper generals, as they call them, below him, who are some of the more prominent people like Patrick Casey, Steve Francine, and a few other people. I think Michelle Malkin, you can consider one of them. And, say what you will about Nick and all these other people for a second, but, they are all kind of loosely the similar people, except one guy, Patrick Casey. And this is a guy I've trashed probably on this show. I think I've trashed him because he was once the head of Identity Europa. And Identity Europa is basically a Wignac group. I mean, I don't care what people say. Like, they literally were a Wignac group. You read their stuff. That's basically what they promoted. And that's what a lot of these people would say in private. I've never trusted the dude. I didn't believe this. Oh, he changed his heart. I just don't buy it. I've talked to people at CPAC too that know these people, and they say like, yeah, like I like Nick, but Patrick, he's weird. And even Nick was saying that like everybody kind of really didn't like Patrick, but he was like the kid, in school that, you had to invite to your birthday party because you don't want to have him there. But he has some good qualities, and it's kind of like, okay, we'll bring him. You kind of have to include him. And then they would be nice, and from what I understood, like with him. But out of the blue, he goes, oh, I'm leaving America First the Groypers. I'm not going to AFPAC. He just kind of like quits the whole thing. And
To be fair, with all this shit going down, I really don't blame him for probably wanting to steer clear of any of that, because I imagine there's going to be some sort of activity going on, like
right.
boxing or whatever. But I mean, from what I saw on the show, that it seems like they're doing the best they can to mitigate that. But there is,
Yes.
just given the way things are going, I don't know if they're going to be able to fully eliminate that risk.
Yeah, and this is what they did last time with it. And one of the things I think Nick is being smart about too is they're adding more security. They're even doing it where you send him a check or cash in the mail, so there's no online system that's tracking your name or whatever. And he's also recommending, hey, you can wear a mask or not, but hey, if you want to really protect your identity, wear a mask. That's one way to get around that. To take advantage of the situation. What gets weird is it's one thing to say, hey, I don't want to attend it because X, Y, and Z reasons. Okay. But according to Nick, Patrick never talked to him about this. He just blasted all this publicly first, never talked privately about it, and then starts threatening to blackmail Nick, claims Nick is under FBI surveillance, claims Nick has his bank account frozen, claims Nick is on a no-fly list, which, look, I think if anything, I think you should operate under the assumption the feds are watching you, if they are or not. I'm not saying they are, but
They probably are. They, to be fair, they probably are. And I think I even listened that Nick said that his like his bank account was sort of kind of like there was something going on with it, but he wasn't at liberty to say exactly what.
right. And I think that's what's happening here is like, I think there's some half-truths, there's some jumping to conclusions, there's trying to spin things. Personally, I've said before, like, I don't get why he hangs out with Patrick. I think it's a bad look. You shouldn't be around this dude. Just like, bad vibes. Always kind of thought that, bad vibes. I've even heard weird stories where he'll invite women to bars that and even though he doesn't drink, he'll just invite them to bars at hotels, which is a little weird. So there's that. And I have to say, like, whatever, look, I don't like, there's certain drama I like, there's certain drama I don't like. And I think it's good that he's leaving. I think you're way better off not having him at all. You want to talk about, now you can't be accused of being a wignat, helps a heck of a lot. I mean, you're going to get those accusations, but when you have a literal one in your freaking group, it doesn't help. So I think it's good he's gone. Never liked this dude. And it's interesting because I think this is a lesson for anybody that's starting a movement, anybody that's getting involved with this game, is that there's some like high stakes shit. Like, like, you gotta be careful who you talk to, what you say to them, because you don't know who's your friend, you don't know how they can burn you. I mean, it's just, I think it's a good lesson. Even if you don't like these people or whatever, I think you can learn a lot from it. But do you have any other takes on it, Alex?
Yeah, that Patrick guy, he does seem a little bit funky, like from what I saw. But I think what he said, if I was you, I would steer clear of any of this stuff, But I can see why they still want to hold their little like gathering of the Groypers.
Right.
I can understand why they do. They don't want to go and show weakness ever, but I'd also be very aware. You know, you you run a risk of being doxxed at one of these things. You run a risk of putting yourself on some sort of government list of potential associates of people. But that's a risk, that's always existed. That existed last year. That really existed ever since Charlottesville. But even more so now after the the January 6th stuff, because they're on blast.
I think honestly, well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I bet the feds are looking at every single person they can that was at that Capitol thing. Every single person, especially prominent people like Nick. And, I can understand Patrick didn't want to attend this event, but he didn't handle it the right way, if that's what his intentions really were. And I've heard some really weird things, like Nick and them would like want to hang out somewhere and Patrick would have to leave, and he would literally drive like 2 blocks down and start live streaming in his car. Like, it's just some like autistic stuff like that. Like, look, I'm an introvert. I get it. Look, I have my quirks. I'm nerdy. I got some, there's some things I'd rather do than like go drinking or whatever, but I still like hanging out with people. I still like having a good time. I wouldn't just drive 2 blocks, start live streaming. Just like weird things like that. So
he seems like that autistic kid you see in school that you hang out because he has some pretty cool guns at home.
Wait, you knew autistic people with
you
guns?
hang out so he'll tell you when not to go to school.
Right, yeah.
Like that guy. Like he's dangerous. You really don't like him, but it's like, well, I don't want to piss him off because I value my life.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's kind of what I realized is like, And one thing people gotta keep in mind is like what you see in public is like 1%. You know, there's all this behind the scenes crap that fills in the picture more. But for the sake of their movement, whatever you think about it, I think him leaving's good for their movement. But
Yeah. I mean, what did he bring to the table that was
nothing.
beneficial?
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I'm kind of curious why he was originally brought in. Like maybe he had some stuff behind the scenes. Like maybe he knew how to run an event. Like I could see that, but it seems like the other stuff he brings is more of a detriment than a benefit.
Right. I agree, and I've heard it's rumored, can't confirm it, that Patrick was the one that gave that Richard Spencer tape of him sig heiling with people to Milo. I forget what else they were doing, but like there's some other like I think that's the big one. But I think that was Patrick that leaked it, but I'm not sure about that.
I could see fucking Richards doing that himself, so he could go and say, "Oh, I had a controversy called Highgate." Oh,
Yeah, let me look that up. I forget what happened, but I'll check it real quick. But yeah, it's just that's why.
whatever happened to Richard Spencer? By the way, I haven't really heard much from him.
Oh well, that actually I can tell you what's happening. Because this is what's happening to Patrick too. And again, lessons to be learned here. Uh, One thing that I've heard privately from people that people don't know about, was that Patrick Casey, Richard Spencer, and a few other people are going through massive lawsuits over Charlottesville. To this day, 3 years later, 4 years later almost, they're going through big lawsuits on that. And this hasn't really been a public thing, but I've heard about it from, uh, like smaller channels, not YouTube channels, but and that's kind of why you don't hear a lot about those people. That's kind of why these people are maybe being a bit weird or something. Is they're involved in some really big lawsuit. It's bankrupting both of them. Like Patrick's, from what I've heard, is going to be bankrupt. And the video, by the way, was where Richard Spencer yells "Sieg Heil" and gives the Nazi salute. Pretty
Yeah,
bad.
like honestly, as much as I fucking hate these people, I don't like the fact that you can just sue people into oblivion
Yeah.
over something where they. I don't think that those people broke the law. I think there's people that did, and those people were sent to jail. But I think that there are certain forces out here who are using the legal system in a way that is not meant to, in good faith, take someone to court to right a wrong, but more or less just bankrupt them.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like we saw it with Stone, we saw it with Alex Jones, and we're gonna see it with Trump now. We saw it with Flynn. You see it with all these people. And
Like I think that's the worst thing of the like. That's one of my gripes about the United States legal system, at least, is that you can be dead wrong but if you have more money, you can just use the legal system as a way to go and extract, like basically throw money, like burn money to go and screw someone over, even if you're dead right, even if the other person's dead right, you can still use, or well within their legal capabilities, you can use it to fuck them over.
right.
Because
Yeah.
most states don't include the ability to recoup costs for failed lawsuits against you.
Yeah.
Some, but not all.
Yeah. No, the legal system's incredibly unfair. Like it's one thing I think maybe both sides could agree on is that it's extremely unfair, and more money can literally buy your way out of guilt. You can become guilty to not guilty because of money. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. And what Nick did say too, was that Milo texted him one day and told him about this lawsuit that was going on because he knows he's associated with Patrick, and if Patrick Casey and Richard Spencer walk out of a courtroom together and get their pictures taken, it's gonna be a pretty bad look for his movement. So he told him about it, and Nick initially was like, no, this isn't true. No way. Come on. And I know it's true because I heard about people that said this is true. And Mick texted Patrick, and he's like, "Come on, like this can't be true, right?" And then Patrick kind of goes, "Well, okay, so, you know," and goes into this long text. So it's true. Yeah, it's happening. It's gonna kill these people, metaphorically, financially. So
Yeah, you know, that's just it just grinds my gears, man.
oh yeah, because it can be
Grinds
used
my
against
look.
anyone.
Yeah, like it is disturbing that we allow the legal system to be used as a battering ram
Yeah.
against less wealthy individuals, whether or not you agree with their politics. You know, like, and honestly, like that's the one thing I hope somehow can be fixed. I don't know how you can fix that because, like, on the one hand, you know, I think everyone, if you've been legitimately wronged by someone, you deserve to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, you know, like let's say someone fucks up your car or something, and they technically win the lawsuit on some technicality. Like, I don't think at that point you should deserve to have to go and pay that guy. Like but if it's something egregious like this and there is a First Amendment fucking protection, I think that's wrong for what they were doing.
Right. Well,
Like
what's
what they did with
also.
Alex,
Mm-hmm.
and like what they did with Alex Jones too with the Sandy Hook stuff. I think that it was stupid of him to say that, but I think he was legally allowed to say what he said.
Of course. Yeah, he was totally. It was a total hit, total coordinated hit. It's something that he said a while ago, that years ago, that just gets brought back up for a political hit. And what we're seeing now too, the other, to me, one of the, other than the Trump Accord, the biggest story of the week was Gina Carano getting fired from The Mandalorian because of supposedly a meme that she didn't even say it, she reposted it, where it compared the political climate in America to Nazi Germany and said, when you start dehumanizing people, it can lead to really bad things. She didn't say Republican. She didn't say Democrat once. She said, or she didn't say anything. She reposted something. And Disney used that as an excuse to finally get rid of her. And now she's going to be doing a movie with the Daily Wire called They Can't Cancel Us If We Don't Let Them.
Daily Wire.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could she'd team up with them. Like, at least, I don't know. Like, it's fucked up, but it's funny because it's Disney, like, whose founder is one of the most like anti-Semitic people out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's the bigger hypocrisies too. Are number one, Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian, he sent out tweets or Instagram posts where, I think it was, he used Twitter, so tweets, where he said, I think it was like 1940 or whatever, it showed the Nazi symbols losers, showed the Confederate flag losers, and it showed the MAGA hat losers. So he compared Trump supporters to Nazis and Confederates. That's okay. He can keep his job. She can't keep hers. And Disney can film Mulan where in the area where concentration camps are killing Muslims.
Wait, they didn't. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they filmed in that area.
Did they whitewash this Mulan, or is it like actual Asian this time?
The girl that played Mulan was Asian and a CCP actress. I mean, she propped the Chinese government like you wouldn't believe. And I think everybody in the film was Asian. I have to check that, but
oh no, I was thinking of the other one that they did the whitewashing, the other Disney princess who wasn't white.
Oh yeah.
What's her face?
Yeah, look, I don't like the Daily Wire. I don't like Ben Shapiro, and I bet Ben is just doing this for his personal gain, but if it helps out Gina, I think that's good. But would have been nice if she got to deal with somebody else. But this is only one project, and I can, we'll see how things go. I think Ben is using her like he uses everyone, but maybe she'll find out the hard way.
It's beneficial, I mean, she needs to do something, and like honestly, someone should do this. And as much as I hate that guy, I think there's a reason. Like, he at least has money.
Yeah.
A lot of these other like sort of smaller people platforms, like, they lack that.
Right.
But at least someone's talking about it. But then I heard some other rumors that like Disney was considering like backing off on that.
Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, that rarely happens. I'd say it probably won't happen. And you're seeing other things too, like Hasbro is canceling toys, action figures with her. I mean, it's an all-out purge. And people need to realize too. Look, she's a mega star. Well, up and coming, was an up and coming mega star. But she was in the biggest TV show. She was a fan favorite. But this can happen to you, you know? That's the thing I think people need to realize is that there's like societal cultural purge of conservatives happening from everywhere. Of Trump supporters. I shouldn't say conservatives, of Trump supporters from everything. And it's pretty scary that you can just be fired because somebody finds out that you bought a MAGA hat once or that you were at a Trump rally. We saw this with that singer last week. He got dropped from his label because he attended the January 6th speech. Didn't participate in the rise. Saw the speech, left.
Wait, was that the country guy who said the N-word or something?
No, that was a different guy.
Well, the funny thing is, I heard that guy's like sales jumped up 120% after that.
Yeah.
Because people were pissed off about this cancel culture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for them because, like, honestly, when does this stop? You know, when does this cancel bullshit stop?
That's what I'm wondering too, because it's either going to stop when there's nobody left, but there's always going to be new people coming up, or it's going to stop once the gun gets pointed in the opposite direction, metaphorically.
Well, they tried that with James Gunn, and they just hired him back, fucking Disney.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know how you stop it, unless you start doing it to them so much that they finally go, okay, now we'll stop.
I think if we get enough truly talented people who are canceled, then maybe they can just literally form their own, like,
studio.
Yeah, like create their own alternative. And then you basically divide this country even more. But that's basically what the left wants you to do. I think that's their end goal, is just create more division.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at some point it's gonna end up coming to a head. And I think we're gonna, like, the United States as we know it right now, I don't know if it's going to be able to maintain its shape.
Yeah, that's the sad thing, is I think ultimately this is another thing that feeds into the two different Americas. And I don't know how you bring this divorced couple back together. I really don't. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, man, like the United States, for being as old as it is, like it's basically it's not really lost any territories, like in the past since it was founded, which is pretty rare for a country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about, like, pretty much every other country's like had some sort of major gain or loss in territory, like Germany, France, uh, England. Like, look at that. Like, you know, they used to own Ireland too, and now I've heard that, like, even Northern Ireland, like after the U or the whatever that shit is with the splitty split that happened, you know, the Brexit. Like, I heard that they might go and be their own country or something.
Oh God, they can't do. They just won't stop. Northern Ireland just still isn't over it yet.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Northern Ireland?
I mean, I think it's just like, what do they have? They're so tiny. How can you? Even Scotland. What do they have? Do they have a big military? Do they have their own government? Do they have their?
They need a big military? Though? Like, look at regular Ireland. They're still not that big. Look at Monaco. That's tiny as shit.
That's true, but these things, you know, have been countries a while, and I believe some of them kind of, you know, like when they became countries had all that shit there, but I just think it's silly. I don't think it'll happen unless something really bad happens.
I don't know because I don't know, man. Like, if Ireland's in the EU but Northern Ireland isn't, that's gonna be weird. You know? Yeah, that's gonna be a weird thing if it's like, you know, one's in the EU, one's not. They're like next door neighbors. Like, I mean, it's already weird enough, but like at least the UK as a whole was like, I don't know, man. Like, that's gonna be an interesting thing. And for the US though, like, kind of to bring it back, Like the U.S. has been basically the same sort of shape, if not expanding, for the longest period of time. But like, something's gonna have to give at some point. And I think we've had a long run. You know, we've had a long run. It's surprising I mean, we had a civil war a while ago, and that was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's been like what, like 150 years or something. You know, how much longer can we go before another one? Things have gotten even more crazy. Like back then, it was just over one issue. Now we have quite a bit of issues that are more like. I mean, I get that like slavery was a huge issue, but like that was still one thing. Like now, it's like not just you know it's like the vast overreaching of the federal government, the more or less pussification, and the political correct culture of the coastal elites. I don't know. And then like the fact that like people, they're demonizing the United States. Like people vilify the United States. It's like, oh, we're a country of like racist and slaveholders, and we don't want to be that. Like there's literally a good portion of the Democrat Party who don't like the United States.
Mm-hmm.
They straight up hate it. Like even back then, that wasn't the case. Like even the Confederates say they love their states. They were pissed off that the federal government was doing their thing, but they didn't like hate the whole country. They just felt really strongly, mostly about like one issue. And they're getting tired of being pushed around by the North. And the North, they didn't like what the South was doing. But now it's so much more complex. Like honestly, I'm surprised we didn't like. I think the only reason we didn't have any sort of major break was like, we've been so many like foreign conflicts, like World War II, Vietnam, Korea, 9/11. It kind of kept us together by being on the offensive. But now that we've
Right.
started to kind of not deal with that, it's and the Cold War too. Can't forget about the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
It's us against the commies, and now the commies are over here and they have a party.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's an article in the New Yorker, or New York Mag, sorry, New York Magazine, which is not friendly to Republicans at all. Trust me, I know the campaign PA got screwed by them. They wrote an article saying firing actors for being conservative is another Hollywood blacklist, and they're alluding to in the 40s and 50s. This is interesting. There's actually a little dissent in the left on this. And I don't think Gina's going to be the first or last with this, but she's a young, up-and-coming star of the biggest show on TV or streaming, and she's been canceled. Like that. And look, there are some people that you can argue deserve to be canceled, like Harvey Weinstein. But she's no Harvey Weinstein. She's no Kevin Spacey.
Well, what's pissing me off? The one person who has been canceled, like, I mean, truly canceled, like, had their laundry shown and, like, brought to justice.
Who's that?
Fucking, like, the iCarly dude, the fucking Dan Schneider guy. Where the fuck is it?
Oh, yeah, the fuck guy.
I don't know if it's Jan. I think it might be the other actor. Whatever the fuck that guy's name is, like that guy. Like, honest to God, there's so much fucking evidence that there is some foul play afoot with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has never been brought to justice. But that's a story for another day.
Well, did you see the allegations that have been thrown at Marilyn Manson over the past few weeks?
I mean, that guy was always a weird one.
Well, apparently, so Evan Rachel Wood is from Westworld is what started this. She's basically saying that Marilyn Manson sexually abused her, physically abused her, emotionally abused her, all this stuff. Like, he would apparently do stuff like when they were having a bad time, he would be on the phone with her and he'd be like cutting himself and being like, "This is the pain you're causing me."
Oh God, I hate those people. I had a fucking ex who like threatened to kill her.
I mean, come on, look, let's be real. It's Marilyn fucking Manson.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not really surprised, but that doesn't mean
Like,
really particularly.
Come on, at some point, okay. I fucking hate women sometimes.
You should know what you're getting into.
You know what you're. Yeah, okay. Are you talking to like I didn't know? Like you're like, I was so hurt. I had no idea he was gonna be like that. Oh yeah, really? You mean the fucking weird dude that's peeing on fans in concerts? What the fuck is wrong with you? Right? You thought he wasn't gonna be weird? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's women, man. They think they can fix people.
Hmm. Well,
They
there's
think they're
that
Bob
girl.
Roger out
Well, there was that girl from Game of Thrones that was with Manson too, and she said that the breaking point for her, after all the coke, after all the abuse, because like Manson like hit her and like cut her, the breaking point was when he started chasing her with an axe throughout his apartment.
there. Are you surprised? Like, look at what the guy does.
What did you expect? You expect this weird dude, this dude that dresses the way that he does in front of a fucking camera all over the world, right? Obviously, this dude has mental issues. Obviously, this dude's doing drugs, right? At what point did you think that weird shit wasn't going to be a possibility, right?
Well, see, when the Evan Rachel Wood one came out, I mean, she was pretty vague about it. So there was like some people defending Marilyn Manson, some people not. Like Styx did a video defending Marilyn Manson, saying like, yeah, he's a messed up guy. That seems likely. Probably, mess himself up a lot, but I don't think sexual abuse is the case. But after seeing this other actress have a similar pattern of stuff, and former bandmates and
yeah.
former managers and people that like worked with it corroborate it, I I mostly believe at this
He's
point.
probably into some weird shit sexually. He's probably into some weird shit.
But is it
But
abusive?
I would have guessed it. I would have guessed it. Like yeah, but then again, it's like, well, what do you define as abuse, right? Because
like cutting somebody, chasing
like
with an
cutting
axe.
somewhat. Well, I mean, he probably cuts himself. Like, yeah, fucking, I don't know. Like, look, you looked at this dude, and obviously he's fucking weird, right?
Mm.
Like, did it not recur to you that weird shit might be in between the ears? Like, I'm baffled at like, oh, I know he's kind of weird, but I guess he could be a good guy if I underneath all of that. Like, no, he's probably fucking weird in real life. Yeah, like it's. I mean, he makes some good music from time to time, but yeah, he's probably fucked in the head, right? Like,
Yeah.
Guess what? That's the package, right? And like this notion, oh my god, I can't believe that he was. I can't believe that he was like this. Like, what?
Well, the other
Fucking
thing,
Helen Keller could have seen this shit coming. Are you fucking kidding me?
the other thing that was a pattern too with him, from what these ones I read, is he was like insanely controlling with people. Like if like his girlfriend at the time wasn't wearing like a dress he forced him to take it off. He'd force him to do things with him, force him to do sexual things. And like he's mega controlling, like look at their phones, like see who they're talking to, prevent them from even like literally leaving
It
him.
reminds me of like some of the shit. It kind of sounds like that Onision guy.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, it looks like him too.
I'm sure a few of it. I'm sure a few of it's true. I'm sure most of it's bullshit.
I think most of it's true, honestly.
Well, it's like whenever you're with a rock star, you have to deal with that like shit that normal people don't have to deal with, but you know that going into it.
Well, the reason I think most of it's true because, like, yeah, there's probably rock stars that are wild, but some that, not so much anymore. But the pattern of all these allegations, like, you see the patterns there. They all describe very similar things, and some of these women too had been like filing police reports years ago, had been going to the FBI about this years ago, and it hasn't gone anywhere. That's the interesting thing too here is like Marilyn Manson got away with this for a long time compared to other people. I'm surprised this didn't come out in 2017 with the whole Me Too thing. It came out in 2021. And it's really weird, I think, that it took that long, but I think part of it is like in this weird emo culture, it probably was something that could easily fly under the radar because there's a bunch of weird, disgusting, disturbing things happening. It's probably freaking normal. Or people thought, it's probably not that crazy. Or, yeah, he's probably crazy, but, I don't think he's abusive. Seems like a nice, soft-spoken guy. No. I think it's pretty bad. And
I mean, he does kind of sound like that Anision guy a lot to me. Just that same sort of like pussy, like emo behavior.
yeah. Well, the other thing, too, it's interesting is that this to me is what's really like a little sketch is you guys know California, was it Arts Agent? I forget the stupid acronym, but CAA. It's the
Creative
biggest
Arts
agency.
Yeah.
Who, I'm telling you, that agency is sketchy. Who's in that? It was Weinstein, Marilyn Manson, a bunch of other crazies, and Jordan Peterson. People that, there's always some sketch with, are all under that thing. Which, people say, well, it's everybody's
How
in
many
it.
famous people live like fucking saints?
Very few.
Yeah. You're gonna find like there's a lot of very sketchy people who are famous, and like it's that I think you're like if you get to that level of fame, you're most likely you have something wrong. You have like sociopathy or some sort of something wrong with you because you have to be abnormal to become famous because or else everyone would be famous, but then no one would be famous.
Right. Well, there's also ones coming out because of a documentary and some social media backlash with Britney Spears. I haven't been following it closely, but I know Justin Timberlake had to publicly apologize recently. Have any of you followed that one?
I heard that she's had a weird thing going on, like
With her
doesn't like
dad.
her dad control her shit or
Yeah.
something. Like there's some weird.
There's a lot of child stars that are like that, like when they grow up, and I know Macaulay Culkin was kind of like that too, where they grow up and yet their parents still control their finances and are kind of like, I don't know, it's just like, I mean, and obviously Britney Spears made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
Obviously their parents are probably still gonna want a piece of that. um I don't know, fucking, but she's fucking nuts too, probably. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. Would I trust a crazy person like that with money? No, probably not. But like,
I'm gonna shoot your friend next.
What the fuck? That's funny.
He's gay obsessed over the mail. Don't take that personally. But yeah. No, it what was that? What did you say?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Oh. I didn't hear it, but we'll talk about it off air. But yeah. Oh god, yeah. I mean, the other one is I always forget her stupid name, but it's Hannah Montana's like real name.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, that's another one, dude. Poof, messed up.
Well, I think it's like when you're a child, so you want to separate.
Look,
like,
all of them were Disney too, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Miley Cyrus was Disney. Britney Spears, I think Justin Timberlake. They were all Mouseketeers.
Well,
yeah,
that
I
was
think that when you get that level of like money though, like in these, and the Harvey Weinstein types, like the Dan Schneiders or whatever, they can really fuck with you psychologically.
well. That's the thing too. Is when you're a child, you're obviously very malleable. You can get either really good or really bad from depending on your surroundings. And imagine being a child thrown into Hollywood around Harvey the Hutt, around Kevin Spacey, around all these people, and you're gonna expect that kid to come out normal. Nope. That's the problem.
I think we need to end child actors. Like, it's almost like a form of like parental abuse, like child abuse. If you're a parent, you knowingly let your kid get involved with these like band of pedophiles.
Yeah. That's the thing is like the parents push them into it. and that's how it happens. And the other thing too is, like you look at these other things like the Lincoln Project. I mean, that's like, what is it with these things? Like Hollywood's full of pedos. Lincoln Project is filled with pedos and pedo cover-ups / apologists.
No wonder they hate Trump. You know, Trump was very much against pedophiles, and he did his best to stop them. You know,
Yeah.
and like his administration was like unprecedented levels of pedo attacks.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing too. Is like Alex Jones, when this GINA thing was breaking, he pulled just as many as he could. 'Cause he said there were hundreds of headlines. He pulled like about 50 headlines of all these connections, all these people that worked for Disney that turned out to be pedophiles. It was like one after the next, like from low-level people at Disney World to like producers, directors, executives. There's just like an insane number of them. And then now the Lincoln Project, they had their other co-founder step down recently. Yeah, they knew about it. They knew about this shit.
All you gotta do is turn on the Disney Channel and go, and that's all you need to know. And go, oh, these little kids are being sexualized and shit. Like, yo, you definitely tell some fucking pedophiles work for this network.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
They
Like,
are
Reminds
fucked.
me of that South Park episode where they like Mickey Mouse and shit out there. It's like, oh, what do you do? It's, oh, he sells sex to kids. Woohoo!
We're selling sex to little girls.
Yeah, it's true. You know?
Yeah.
That's how they make their money.
Because I was looking back into the history of Me Too, and like this all really started with Cosby, and then spearheaded with Gretchen Carlson, with Roger Ailes, and like you look back and think all these people that we thought, well, let me put it this way: I don't want to say we thought were clean, but we didn't think they did all these terrible things. Blah blah blah. We saw them on the TV, we liked them, and then that's the end of it. It's massive how many people have been hit and how many are probably true. Like these Lincoln Project people, oh my god, this is to me hilarious. That
Good. Fuck the Lincoln Project, though. In all seriousness, like I really hate that group, and any damage to it is a benefit.
Oh yeah, they are so screwed over by this. I think that they were able to rake in like millions of dollars from donations. Tells you.
Oh yeah. And guess where that money is probably going to?
Yeah, their legal defense now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably going to them like buying champagne for like little kids in their fucking penthouse suites. It's funding a pedophile network.
Literally.
It's almost like that Pizzagate stuff was onto something.
That's the thing, people love to diss Pizzagate. I'm like, look, there's a grain of truth to it.
Yeah, like there is, like, was there a sex ring underneath Comet Ping Pong or whatever? No. Was there some really high up people involved with some really disgusting shit? And like, we know it's true. We know, like, Jeffrey Epstein, like, would that have been discovered if not for the Pizzagate stuff? Like, I think that did, like, there was some bad shit done, but I think there was some good shit too.
Yeah.
Like, the guy should never just shot up the basement of the pizza place, but that's what happens when you like follow the rabbit or whatever.
The Lincoln Project, it's only been around 2 years, from 2019. It's raised $90 million. You want to know who one of their biggest donors is?
Mitt Romney.
Yep, Bain Capital. Isn't it funny? Cucks stick together. Cucks fund cucks / pedophiles.
I think that the Fed should go to investigate Bain Capital for pedophilia.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking at a list here from Fox that they provide of all these people that funded this thing. Gotta look into all these people. These people are not your friends.
It's funny that it's named Bain Capital. It reminds me of like the fucking Bane posting on like 4chan and shit, like back in like glory days.
No, it reminds me of Bird from The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Bane, like that was the whole thing. Like,
oh.
They used to go and do all those like memes and shit with Bane in there, and then this happens.
Yeah.
I accept your resignation.
Yes. Yeah, here's a background on Frank, because I know you weren't fully caught up in this, Alex. Says New York Times reported last month an allegations that 21 men that Weaver, co-founder of Lincoln Project, sent to them unsolicited sexually charged messages. One was 14 years old at the time. Multiple people reportedly contacted federal law enforcement regarding the alleged conduct. Lincoln Project said it hired an external law firm to conduct investigations in the matter. AP reported the majority of the $90 million the Lincoln Project raised was paid to consulting firms tied to the group's founders and senior staff. Just one big grift. And then that a group's Twitter account tweets screenshots of messages between a former senior staff and reporter writing a story on the Lincoln Project co-founder George Conway, suggested that the disclosure may have been illegal. And then now this dude stepped down. Schmidt. I mean, look at these people. They just don't look like nice people. They look like goblins.
Yeah, pedophile goblins and, fucking extraterrestrial vampires and all the usual suspects.
Yep. It's just, it's one thing I've learned too. I don't like to let my feels dictate me or control me, but when you get those real ooh, I really can't stand this guy. Really can't stand this group. Like Mitt Romney, really can't stand him. Lincoln Project, really hate him. It feels like it's coming from the right place, It always turns out your gut's telling you the right thing. Like, I don't like these guys. Didn't think they'd be pedophiles, but shit, that's what happened. Knew there was something up with them.
I'm not surprised they're pedophiles, I'm really not surprised, especially Mitt Romney. I could see him having some pedophilia involvement.
I would love to know what's in his closet.
Well, yeah, there's some weird stuff. Those Mormons. You have to be careful with them.
Yeah, Mormons are weird. I'm sorry. I have nothing against them, but they're weird.
They are, man. I had a friend who dated a Mormon once, and never
Mormon
did anything.
girl?
Yeah.
What was that like?
She looked like Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
Hot, but she was a Mormon, so you ain't tapping that shit.
Was she like, no?
Oh,
Wait
God,
till marriage.
They would go to whatever they call their. I think it was Temple.
Temple University or Temple?
Yeah, Temple, in the mornings.
Oh God, they'd have to go to church at every morning.
Before school.
Oh.
You have to play the long game with that broad. You just gotta put her. You gotta put her in situations that increase your chances.
Bruh, it's called the longest of long games. At some point, you're gonna be is this worth it?
Is it worth? The juice is definitely worth the squeeze. No, that's crazy. No, it's crazy. Yeah, because you got you have to I don't know.
Would you date a Mormon, Phil?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Whoa!
I have.
Please tell.
How'd that go?
Yeah, spill the beans.
No, I'm saying you. I mean, it takes work because you're trying to bang her, and then she's just not she's trying to stay true to her religion.
Did you get her?
Oh, I did. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Chad.
This was back in the day. This was back in the day
Still Chad.
I was still in my heyday, but
based. Just the bet. That's epic. How did you do? No, don't go into details if obviously, but how could you persuade somebody? Because I'm curious, actually, somebody that's stuck on that really hard belief to actually go through with it.
Yeah, I started when I started going out with her, I was going out with another chick at the time. It was
shit.
But anyway. But I kept that on a down low.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah. What? Because I would have lost. She would have never seen me again after that shit.
See, to be fair, in all honesty, that's the biggest problem I have with the no sex for marriage thing. Other than it's just gay and it's no fun, but You can't control
was
it.
what-
Can't.
And keep
Yeah,
in
were you
mind,
why
I
was
was
not test driving it first.
at like, dude, I was a dog back in the day. There's a lot of things I'm not proud of, but like, yeah.
You should be fucking achievement unlocked, bang the Mormon chick.
No. But no, I took her. So basically, I took her to parties, and then
Oh, did she
and
drink?
So I took her. No, so I deliberately took. I took her to a party and deliberately uh put her right beside the alcohol, so that way she and I got her a Coke. I got her a Coke can. I got her a can of Coke to make her look like a fucking weirdo in front of all the other people. So
Shame.
everybody has red Solo cups. Everybody has red Solo cups or whatever, and they're getting wasted and they're having a good time. And she has this fucking can of Coke, like, and she's just kind of sipping it, looking at everybody. And then so like you're like, and then so I got my friends to, you know, kind of chip in and say, hey, well, why aren't you having a drink? Why aren't you having a drink? Kind of really emphasizing the peer
Oh.
pressure, right? And then I was like, and then she was like, I really feel uncomfortable. I was like, look, how about this? How about this? And then so that way I kind of bargained with her, like, because
Renegotiated.
she starts she once she started feeling uncomfortable, I was like, okay, well, how about this? Okay, let's how about you get like a something mild, right? Get a wine cooler, okay? We got some wine coolers in the fridge. Look, we just go ace a couple sips of wine cooler, whatever. And then so she actually did it, and then she started. And then the ball started rolling, right? First it was a couple sips of a wine cooler,
Oh no.
then it was a wine cooler, then it
Oh
was a couple
no.
wine coolers, then it was like, you know,
Was this all at
and
the
I was
same
like, see,
party?
it's not that bad. No, no, no. Well, this was like a couple parties, but
Okay.
like, and then after that, it was like, oh, okay, so let's start with some cuddles. Well, then we start with some, then we can start making out. Then we can start like it just progressed, and then it was like, and then
Wait, she wouldn't even make
eventually,
out with you at first?
no,
Yeah, that's
dude,
Mormons for you, man.
Mormons are like
Jeez.
tight, like they're tough nuts to crack.
I didn't even know it was that bad. Wow.
No, dude.
Yeah, because
God. Now you guys,
they're
you always
probably,
wonder,
yeah,
why are you an agnostic atheist or whatever? This is why.
yeah, like, but yeah, so yeah, you just progress, and then, you know, eventually it happens, and then she became a total slut. But you know,
Yeah.
that like, you know, shit happens. I don't know what to tell you.
How long did the process take from like when you first met her to when you first took her for a test
Probably
drive?
like a month. Like if I didn't have
Dude.
another chick on the side, I probably would have not even went anywhere close to it.
A
But I was
month.
like, but me, I was like,
quick.
I was the guy at that point. At that point, I was like, I was up for a challenge. Like that was because I was like, I was so big on my ego that I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll take this challenge on. You know, like, because it was already fine. You know, you're going to clubs, you're picking up chicks, you're doing your thing or whatever, and you have parties, and you know, and you're meeting girls, you're doing all this stuff, and it's like after a while, you're just like, I need a challenge. Like, yeah, I need a challenge. I need to challenge myself, right? Because
Yes.
this is after a while it gets too easy. So you're like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
How about
You
that?
speak
How
for
about that
yourself on
Mormon
the
check?
too easy
I was
part.
going, because at first it was like picking up girls, and then it was like married chicks,
Oh
and then
no.
it was trying to get lesbians to cross over,
Oh shit, that reminds me.
and then it was Mormons. Like that was like one of the last.
That was
things.
Nirvana.
That was, well, I mean, I mean, seeing, I mean, obviously, you know, I got older, And then I realized like there I banged this one married chick, and I realized that I fucked up because like, it like destroyed the family. Like
Oh no.
it just destroyed the family, and that was like my awakening. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this shit. Like, yeah, and it made me feel so fucking awful. I felt like such a terrible piece of shit, and I was like, you know what, I'm
with that. If it wasn't you, it would have been someone else.
well, yeah, but I mean, I'm like, that did not make me feel any better. Like I would try to tell myself, and my friends would tell me that, oh, hey, she decided to do it too, man. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that didn't make me feel better.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like one of those things
You were
where I'm
still a
like,
partner in crime.
definitely still partner in crime.
But
So
at least you felt something, because sociopaths would feel nothing, and they would keep doing it. So the fact that you felt something tells
there
me
was
you're
a lot.
human.
Well, I mean, I also
It'd be tough, man. Like it would take a little bit of time to go and see what you did was wrong, but eventually you fucking did.
well a lot of
I just
well,
can't believe you
well,
got the Mormon in a month to go from like puritanical to like radical. Yeah, it's a slut in
Well,
like
I
a
mean,
month.
yeah, but that was like that was like when I was that was in my heyday.
That's
No,
why
I mean, I also, there was drug use, there was depression, there was like, I mean, I don't know.
Phil, we should write a
I
book
could,
on you. Jesus.
yeah, I mean, there's one hell of a journey that was that came. I am the guy you see today is a product of many roller coaster rides that, I mean, I've been to the highest of the highs and the lowest of the fucking lows, man. So,
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, so when I lived in Hawaii. We used to have parties at our house. Um we had this beach side apartment that was like really expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of people that lived there doing um not so legal stuff over there. Um but yeah, we had parties up the wazoo, and like, so there was one party. I was in the military at the time too. Like, uh one of my so one of my I want to say it was the executive officer for our company. It was a young, I think she was a West Point grad or something like that, and like really cute, but like we weren't allowed to fraternize with the officers at the time. All right.
That wasn't gonna stop you.
Well, no. This has nothing to do with me. I was like, because I at that time I was already seeing somebody else, and I was like, I'm not really interested in all that, and I didn't want to get in trouble too, because then when you get in trouble in the military, like they can take your rank and money and they could fuck with you in so many ways.
Right.
So I was like, now if I'm gonna do some bad shit, the military's never gonna fucking know about it. Like, I gotta make sure that they never know about it. But anyway, so we went to a party. Well, yeah, we went to a party, and there was like the house was packed. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I had one too many. I'm like, I'm 3 sheets to the fucking wind, and so I'm like, dude, I gotta fucking piss. So on my I have to pass my friend's room on the way to the bathroom. I open the door, and there's this XO getting fucking tag teamed by two black dudes. I'm like, oh my fucking god. And she looked at me. She knew exactly who the fuck I was, and she had this like terrified look on her face. Like, yeah, like, yo, like, I don't want to, like, yeah. And I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if that was like, that was one of the people that worked at the company, but like, yeah, she ended up. At first, she tried to avoid me, but like I think she pulled me aside and like, look, you can't tell anybody about this. Like, I'm like, look,
Oh, you should use that to your
between you
advantage.
and
Be
me,
like, well, if you do one little thing for
you,
me.
I'm like, look, you know, to be fair, if you knew half this shit that was going on here that I was involved in, like, because no, I mean, look, at that time, because no, at that time I was with this chick and I was like, and I was still kind of into her, right? I was at the time, because I think I just moved back to Hawaii, so I was like, all right, yeah,
Fucking
I
Hawaii
was,
sounds lit.
huh?
Hawaii sounds lit.
It, it's pros and cons. If you got to be around the right people. If you're around the right people, it's a great time. If you're not, it could be real shitty real quick. Like, because it gets expensive as fuck too down there. Like out off base, off the military base, like milk is like $8 a gallon
Oh
or some shit
yeah.
like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Like,
fly
yeah,
everything in.
yeah. So like, and I mean, gas, add about 50 cents a gallon to gas.
Even compared to PA.
Dude, yeah, yeah. That's add 50 cents to Pennsylvania.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it um I mean, and then like the local people, they tend to not like. I'm like I was like white, blonde hair, blue eyed. I'm about as far away from being Samoan as the DNA chain provides, right? There's and like, and so they don't they tend to not like they tend to not like us as much as their own kind. Like, they're very into their own people, which, I mean, it's cool, but like, yeah, you like, if you don't know people, like if you already don't know people, like, it could be bad. It could be a rough experience. Um, but if you do know people, it'd be a great experience, man. Like, you just get to know people and all that, man. I had like I had this one I had this one fling. She was she was a import model, like import car model. Like, yeah, you ever see like import car magazines that
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, one of those. She used to do that shit for, you know, for a bit. And like, and that was like, this is a this that she kind of fucked my view of, not my view of women overall, but like definitely hot women. Like, because she was not bright. She was not bright. I was like, holy God, you're lucky. You are absolutely gorgeous, because I would have left this fucking restaurant like 10 minutes ago.
Hilarious.
That's like, I don't know. Mm, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. My life's been kind of a roller coaster,
Right?
ups and downs.
That makes that shit interesting.
Mm, yeah, I mean, but I mean, and people are like, because I've went through some very, very lows. I've been to the point where I've like thought about suicide and stuff, and like, and I obviously have gone through that, and people are like, and people ask me, hey, do you do you do you regret any of the bad stuff that you've done? I'm like, no, not really, because it's made me who I am now. Like, I mean, I'm this, like, like I'm kind of proud of the person I've become. You know, I'm like I'm like this guy that's like not not doing anything really for myself. Like I help people. I help people. I'm not like selfish really. I'm not, you know, self-serving really. I'm like I have to see something like if I see something I like, you know, I'll help it. Like, like there's there's friends I made, and yeah, and people ask me, "Oh, do you regret going to Pennsylvania as expensive as that shit is?" And you're older, and and I'm like, "No, because um I've learned so much. I've learned so much being at Pennsylvania, being in Penn State, and I'm like great, like I've met so many good people. I've met so many good people and learned so much about how fucked this whole college experience is, and you know and I get to help and I got to help people along the way, and I'm still helping people, and it's like all of that guy that I became is a product of all the fucked up shit I've done previously, you know.
Yeah, you never stop learning, man. Like, you're not quite there, and you'll it's that journey, man. That's what
Well, I
matters.
mean, nobody like nobody's ever gonna get there. Like there is a place nobody's gonna end up. Like I don't know. Like that's to me, that's not an attainable. Like it's just striving to become better than you were yesterday. Like you know, just try to make yourself better than you were yesterday, or even just all it takes is just even if it's a baby step, it's still an improvement, right? So that's again, that's kind of how you got to look at it. That's really got how you got to look at it. Like if you like, I'm always saying like, if you're gonna have a goal, it's good to have goals, but make sure you have smaller goals too, right? That lead up to that big goal, right? It's like outline your goal. That's what I always said. Outline your goal, and you know, to get there, right? Like say you want to get like, or say for like, I'm trying to give a shitty, I'll probably give you a really shitty example of this, but like getting a degree, right? You get a degree, right? Oh, you want this degree, you want X degree, right? And so you're like, okay, so small goal would be take a course, right? Take a course. Maybe you haven't taken maybe you haven't taken college courses before. Maybe it's like, because I'm like, everybody knows that first semester is a doozy. Is a fucking doozy because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where you're going. There's like it's an adjustment period. So like, just take a course or take two courses or something like that. Light, and then spoon feed yourself up to like a full-time load. You know, take your courses, take your whatever you got to do. You do it, and then you work your way up to getting that said degree. But like
Did I miss anything funny?
no, we were just bullshitting, I guess, pretty much. Um,
How'd your journey go, Sean?
Oh god, dude, it's so bad out there. Like the driveway is a sheet of ice. Just the entire thing is ice, and the cars are all ice.
Fuck.
It's
Your parents don't put the cars in the garage.
we have junk in our garage.
See, my parents used to do that, and it's like, why the fuck do you have a garage if you're not gonna put your cars in there? It's a fucking car's house. Put your shit in there.
See, I agree. That's why I'm neat and tidy and clean and autistically a neat freak. But my dad has the basement full of junk and has the garage full of junk. So both are just used for junk storage. Yeah. Welcome to my home. Didn't you see it when you walked into my home, Alex?
I thought they would have fixed it by then.
Like my car.
Oh yeah, how's that been going? Yeah, we'll talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah, well, supposedly this weekend it's gonna be done. We'll see. I made a little bitch fit about it.
They're giving you the hucklebuck. Those fucking mechanics are giving you the hucklebuck. They're like, It'll be done. It'll be done by next week, and
We'll
then
get
like
to it when
next
we
week
get
happens.
to it.
Like, look, it'll have in a couple days. It'll be good. Just relax.
Mm-hmm.
They say that shit for like a few months before shit finally gets done.
What's
Yeah.
that Metallica song, "The Day That Never Comes"?
Literally. Yeah, it's that's why anytime anybody says like when I get people to tell me they make promises, that make deadlines that they don't fulfill, or that like, oh, don't worry, we got it, it'll be done by tomorrow, and it doesn't happen. But then when you get those people that do say like, yeah, this shit's gonna be done tomorrow, it's done tomorrow, those people that are reliable, like, love them so much, When you find somebody, I don't know if it's a friend or a girlfriend, whatever, where when they say they're gonna do something and 9 times out of 10 they do it, night and day, night and day. But let's check our list, see what. Oh, I bet you watched it, Phil. I know, Alex, I don't think you watched it, but did you enjoy the Black National Anthem at the Super Bowl?
Wait, so what is the
No,
Black?
I knew that they were gonna play that fucking thing, and so I didn't watch any of the pregame shit. I didn't watch any of the fucking. I didn't watch any of the like the national anthem, the Black national anthem. I didn't watch. I don't think I didn't watch a coin flip. I didn't watch any of that shit. I I I timed it. Like I think the game started at what 6:30 or
Yeah,
something like that.
6:30 was
And
kickoff.
and yeah, so I waited until like 6:40 or something like that, where I knew, like as soon as I knew kickoff happened, I was like, okay, all right, this is where we're at. All right.
Yeah, I missed it too, and I didn't know it happened till a bit later, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? A race has their own anthem that to me is messed up and racist. And imagine if they had a white national anthem, I don't think that would go over too well. I mean, it's just really weird how I bring it up, because it shows how, again, the culture war is shifting some more, where first it's Kaepernick taking a knee, first it's Black Lives Matter. Now we're at a place where we're doing Black national anthems at the Super Bowl. It's the most, but this is Joe Biden's unifying America. It's bringing people together of all races and colors, isn't it? And supposedly when he had, because Biden like Skyped into the freaking game, and like, what was that?
What a pussy, Skyping into the game.
Yeah, he didn't show up. He just like zoomed in, Skyped in and had a message. Apparently people booed him during it, which I think is funny.
That's great.
Yes. Like, fuck you, we don't want you. But the who got the most hate is Tom Brady. Say what you will about him, his stats prove he's one of the best players ever, one of the best athletes ever, clinching a 7th Super Bowl title, and people hating on him because he's hot, he's sexy, he's got a hot, sexy wife, he's talented, he's tall, he's athletic, and probably a Trump voter, especially that MAGA hat in his locker room. Everything the left hates.
I mean, it's pure honestly, it's pure jealousy.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is absolutely jealousy. Like, no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm jealous of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But like, I mean,
but you respect
Tom
him.
Brady. Look,
you don't hate him.
Tom Brady is Tom Brady is a teachable moment, right? It is a teachable moment for every person out there, right? If you want to be successful in this world, right, you have to die. You have to work hard. You have to work tirelessly hard. And if you want to be like athletic, right, you gotta get up early. You gotta stay up late. Work incredibly hard. Diet, right? This man diets like you wouldn't even believe. Like I saw a documentary where he talks about his diet, and there's like and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Mm.
You know, Cristiano Ronaldo is another fucking person where it's like, look, if you want to be famous and you want to be somebody in this fucking world, you work as hard as that man does. Work as hard as Tom Brady does. And yeah.
Yeah, I
Good things will
mean,
happen.
imagine the calories he burns per day when he's practicing and playing. I remember Michael Phelps
Well-
back in the '08 Olympics. He had he just had like these plates after plates of high calorie things coming, all burned in one swim.
Yeah, I mean, but they work fucking tirelessly. Like, yeah, you're getting up. Look, you're gonna have to get up three or four in the morning, right? Look, that's
That's
you
rough.
want to be famous? There you go, right?
Yeah.
You want to be you want to be a superstar? There you go. That's your life, right?
And also shows too that he's not just a player. Like, he is the team practically. He brings the whole team up to another level because the Bucks were always shit to my knowledge. I remember they were always kind of pretty bad. Once Brady comes in, Super Bowl, boom.
Well, they were talented. They were talented before. They were talented before, but they didn't have the quarterback. One that tells you how important the quarterback position is
Yeah.
in the NFL, right? The right quarterback will win you a Super Bowl. The wrong quarterback will keep you from the playoffs, right? It's just that simple. But I mean, when you put somebody like Tom Brady in, that changes the game outright. But yeah, I mean, but look what he did. Like, look, as soon as Tom Brady got there, um, the Bucks were able to get Rob Gronkowski, who had a big game.
Mm-hmm.
He had a big game. He was able to talk Antonio Brown into joining the team. He had a big game, right? Like this is the impact that this one man had really on this game. Like on the Super Bowl, he had an impact beyond what he personally did. Like, and it's just incredible. It was just incredible to see. I feel I did kind of, I mean, later in the game, I did kind of feel bad for Patrick Mahomes, but like, you know, because he put as good of an effort as he could have, but like, I mean, you know, what can you say? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's like, as far as the game was concerned, I felt like when we were looking at matchups, I was like everybody and their fucking mother was favoring the Chiefs, and I was saying something like, okay, so one of the things is like, and I started throwing ifs out there. I was like, so if they're starting, if the Chiefs starting offensive tackles can't play, that's going to be a problem because Tampa Bay's pass rush is really good and they could cause problems for Patrick Mahomes, which happened. That's exactly what happened pretty much the whole game. I was like, if Rob Gronkowski has a game, that could cause them problem. If he's healthy, that could cause them problems because the Chiefs defense was small and they were quick. They were small but quick or whatever. And Rob Gronkowski's just a 6'7" muscle beast, right? He's just a beast. Like if he's healthy, that could cause problems. And then if Mike Evans is healthy, their starting their number one wide receiver. If he's healthy, if all of those things happen, I think the Bucks win. And sure enough, all of those things happen, and of course, they won handily. But yeah, I felt bad. I felt bad for Mahomes, but I mean, look, he won the Super Bowl last year, so I can't, you know. I'm like, and he beat my Niners because of officiating help. So fuck him. No, I'm just kidding. But no, not really. I'm not kidding at all. And there, but I will say this though. Like I know I'm running away with football shit. we're about to find out, okay, um, how good Patrick Mahomes really is, because his contract, keep in mind, he signed this massive contract in the off season. It was like 10 years, 450 million or something like that. It was just a bazonka fucking deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because we have a salary cap in the NFL, that's going to play a role. That contract of his will play a role. One of the things that one of the reasons why Tom Brady was allowed to be the success that he is he never signed contracts that really broke the bank. Like, you never seen Tom Brady sign a contract for like highest paid quarterback in the NFL money, right? He's never done that. Like, because these people understand, okay, if I sign this contract, now that leaves a lot less money in the salary cap for other players, like other team players,
Right.
right? So that takes a lot. That takes a lot. That takes a lot of, discipline. That takes a lot of discipline and willpower, right? To be able to basically say fuck you to your agent and go, look, I'm signing for less than I'm probably worth, but I'm after gold. And of course, that perceptually that's kind of off too, because this man made a shit ton of money off of endorsements and stuff too. But I mean, look, this is what happens. You got one. Like quarterbacks that make NFL record money tend to not win the Super Bowl. Like, if you ever see a quarterback and they sign for like some record money,
Mm-hmm.
they usually don't win the Super Bowl. And they're because of the salary cap. Like, for example, like, okay, I think the as it stands, the NBA, or not NBA, Jesus, I'm all over the place.
NFL?
The NFL salary cap is supposed to be somewhere around, I think, less than 200 million, right? And let me just look this up just to be exact. NFL salary cap 2021. Just making sure just to
Live fact checking, folks. Don't get that in CNN.
Yeah, you do, just not honest fact checking. Anyway.
Yeah, opinion checking.
Yeah. Let's see. 100. Okay, so it's supposed to be around 185 million, which is actually a drop, because it was like 200 million, around 200 million ish, like this year. Which of course, the drop is because the cut in revenue, because the whole COVID restrictions and all that mess. But like Kansas City, they're gonna have not this year, but next year they're gonna have Patrick Mahomes is gonna start making 40 million plus a year. That's like a fifth of that's well, actually, shit. Well, I'm assuming that the NFL cap is going to go back to 200. Obviously this year's going to be kind of a wash, really, because there's, with the whole COVID restrictions and all that shit. But ideally, right, 40 million, that's like a fifth. That's a fifth of your entire team salary cap on one player, right? So now you got to sign everybody else with the remaining 160 million, right? Which doesn't leave you a whole lot. Like, so, I mean, look, the fucking Steelers, they're going to be feeling it too, because Big Ben restructured his contract, so that they could get rid of Antonio Brown, and now he's I think this next year he's going to be making. I want to say he's going to be making 40 million
Wow.
this year. Let's see here. Pittsburgh.
Something real quick about Brady too I noticed is that he's never had a season with more losses than wins. He's always had more wins than losses.
Well, and keep in mind, okay, so people were saying, "Oh, that's Bill Belichick. That's not so much Tom Brady." But now people are starting to think, "Oh, well, now it's Tom Brady. It's not so much Bill Belichick, right?" Because now Tom Brady has officially left the Patriots and won a Super Bowl. In fact, he won it with his first year, right? His first year he left, he won a Super Bowl. Like people, like this right here really has cemented Tom Brady, maybe as the greatest of all time. And like, look, seven Super Bowls. Holy shit! 10 went to 10 Super Bowls. Jeez.
Wow. And won
One of those,
7.
yeah, and one of those Super Bowl losses was when he won 16 games. Like we won all 16 of those regular season games.
I remember
Won
that.
everything else up until the Super Bowl, right?
That's
Even
such
his
a
Super Bowl
shame.
losses. Even his Super Bowl losses are fucking incredible. Like it took some of his Super Bowl. Let's keep in mind some of those two of those Super Bowl losses. One of those was the 16 and dope and to the Giants, right? And then the other loss was essentially the to the Eagles with the Philly special and all that shit. Basically, Philly pulled out all of the bags of tricks that they possibly could.
I remember that one too pretty well.
Yeah. So all in all, I mean, every time he goes to the Super Bowl, he has, I mean, he wins it. I mean, really, he wins it, right? And I mean, it's just so incredible. It's just so incredible. What can you say about that? And it is, the guy just looks. Would you have, if you look at Tom Brady, would you ever peg this dude for in his mid-40s?
Yeah, that's what amazes me.
Like he looks like he's in his 30s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's that is, I mean, great shape, great, like, I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, he's just all in all, he's just unbelievable.
I can see why Trump wanted him to supposedly marry Ivanka.
I mean, come on. Look, Giselle Bundchen, that's
she's pretty hot.
That's a good, yeah. And Ivanka didn't do too bad with Jared. I mean,
she went to Jared.
Yeah.
No, Tom Brady is. I wonder how long he's gonna last though. Like, how much more does he have in him? 1 season, 2 seasons, 5?
Well, he has another season. So he has another season left in his contract. He signed a 2-year contract, and yeah. So I'm not sure he's gonna play beyond that season. I don't know, but yeah, I hardly think that that he's probably going to play beyond that. I think there was a little bit. I think for Tom Brady there was a little bit of that motivation. Like he wanted to win one outside of New England,
right?
And I think now that that's fulfilled, it's like, well, what else?
And I could tell last time I felt like he just didn't want to go out on a loss, and because people were speculating he'd be ending his time, and I'm like, yeah, but he just seems like a guy who wouldn't want to go out on a loss.
Yeah, but he said he's playing next year. Rob Gronkowski's saying he's playing next year. Like,
how old was Peyton when he finally ended? He's 44 now. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he just got elected to the Hall of Fame, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he retired. I think he was in his late 30s too.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually.
Yeah, 2015 was when he ended with the Bronx. So it was almost 6 years ago. Shit. Did you get some food, Alex?
Nah, Nikki. I was just puntered with. I was just helping her with something.
I heard some dishes, so I thought, ooh, what's cooking tonight?
Nah, we went out for Valentine's Day dinner.
Aw.
Yeah, I had some lobster and she had some steak.
I wish I could tomorrow, but sadly cannot. Be our 2-year anniversary.
Aw.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing what's happened 2 years. COVID, literally half of, I mean, that's what's crazy. I think half of my relationship's been during a pandemic. It's been a fucking year since that thing shut everything down.
Yeah, that's gay.
Big gay. You know what's not gay? Is Bitcoin. Have you been following that action?
It's fucking seems I'm very cautious of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Me too,
I am.
but I'm getting very excited for it because it finally feels like it's getting like some mainstream traction. You know, there was the Tesla big 15% of their money getting converted to Bitcoin, which I thought was pretty cool. But today, the first ever service, BitPay, was added to Apple Pay. So you can now, through BitPay, buy anything you want theoretically with Bitcoin. The only problem with that thing is 'cause I did look into that service. I downloaded their app to play with it and whatnot. Their debit card, you don't get any rewards. There's no monthly fee. There's no transaction fee. There's an ATM fee, and there is a fee if you don't buy anything after 90 days, which is a little weird, but
What's the point of the Apple Pay?
it makes life a hell of a lot easier, dude. I love Apple Pay. It's like
When do
Google Pay.
Well, oh yeah, when do you not have your wallet though?
I mean, I prefer not to have a wallet ever. It takes up
Well, yeah,
space.
but if you're driving,
Oh
there's
no, I do. Like I carry one, but what I like about Apple Pay is, first of all, the transactions are a heck of a lot quicker. You know, you put the card in, it's got to read the chip, take the time.
You just tap it.
What?
Well, if you have the chip, if you have the one thing, you just tap it.
If it's an
Or
NFC chip,
Yeah,
but
which
not all of
most
them are
cards-
NFC.
Most cards are nowadays.
Both of mine are not.
You get with the times, man. I just got all my cards right now are NFC chip.
Even then, though, like Apple Pay is one, it's so much faster, but also so much more secure because your credit card number, all that shit never gets shared with even the vendor. It just gives them a random number. So it's super secure, super easy, and theoretically, one day down the road, you'll never have credit cards again because it'll just be in your phone. That's what I like about it. I hate carrying a wallet.
So you're trusting all that shit with the service.
Same thing with the credit card, technically.
Well, no, but they have different credit card companies, versus Apple, who we know is a bad actor.
Yeah, but you can put different credit cards in. Like, you can put your Visas, your MasterCards, your everything. I mean, eventually, you're never going to have a car key. You're never going to have a credit card. It's all going to be in your phone. Like, they're already pushing for that. It's already happening. That's the future.
No, eventually, it's going to be a chip in your fucking body.
Dude, honestly, yeah.
Well, no, but see, with Apple Pay, you're putting all your shit in one location.
Same with Google Pay.
I know. Same problem. That's why I don't use either of them. I just use a fucking credit card because at least that's not on the fucking thing,
Well, what's nice too with Apple Pay is like, not only is it secure, but like when you're buying shit online, it's so much quicker than pulling your credit card out, typing in the numbers. You fuck one up. I don't like autofill because that's not secure at all.
How is it any less secure than the other one?
because Apple Pay's encrypted, and again, no vendor sees your credit card numbers. You don't even have to, like, when you, let's say you buy something on Target, you type in your credit card number. You're giving Target your credit card number. If Apple Pay, they never see it. They never get it. They never see it.
I don't know, man. They're gonna end up getting hacked one of these days, and they'll still end up getting that shit out.
I don't know.
You're just creating a bigger target.
I mean, it's the same thing with PayPal.
I don't know, it's a shitty one too. I got busted by that shit.
Oh, really? What happened?
I don't know, man. I just got like all these people like buying these Xbox games with my PayPal account. And I was like, oh fuck this. So I set up to dual, like
Two-factor.
with it. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like two-factor authentication. That's been like a blessing.
Oh, you like it?
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
I hate it. Like Penn State forced us to do, and it's so annoying.
It is so much more secure than using a password. It is the only issue would be is if someone like hijacked your SMS number, which can happen, but it's usually pretty rare. But you can even use like third-party authenticator programs. Which
Yeah. That's what Penn State. See, that's what I didn't like about Penn State. Is they forced you to use this. What is it? Let me find it 1 second. Duo Mobile. They force you to use that one, so it's another app, takes up more space. And it's really irritating. Like I do like 2FA because it is very secure because you have to be on your device. But I don't like when they don't. Some of these services don't give you the choice either add to your own third party or to just do a text code or something like that. But Bitcoin, though, moving to Apple Pay is a big fucking deal because now, again, it's more mainstream. It's even easier because some people can't even get credit cards right now because of the COVID bullshit. You know, like literally everything's short to get. You know, there's all shortages everywhere. But I think it's really cool. I mean, crypto, yeah, I'm still a little hesitant, but I'm pretty convinced on it now. Like, I think it's going to be the future currency of the internet. Like, I think a lot of places you're going to see the option to buy with Bitcoin because a lot of people are going to want to use it.
My major concern is if the U.S. government were to go take action against it.
That's my big concern, too. And I wonder if they will and what they will do. Because if you get it, this is why I think this is exciting, is because if it gets mainstream enough, if enough people are using Bitcoin and they ban it, a lot of people are going to be pissed. Like, it makes, the more it gets mainstream, the harder it is to ban because of public backlash.
I don't know, man. We'll see with this Biden administration. I have bad feelings because that would, if the whole world were to switch to some sort of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or something,
that won't happen.
You can't print money.
That's what they want. Inevitably, the government wants to get rid of paper money.
Well, yeah, but then with Bitcoin, at least, you can't print more money. There's a set amount.
Right.
And that would create a potentially like a national security issue. You know, because that's like one of the biggest things, at least in modern economics, is the ability to go and print money.
Right.
So that would create an issue with that. I don't think the governments of the world would allow that.
Allow what? The Bitcoin to be banned, or?
I think they'd either not go, like they didn't create their own virtual currency, but it wouldn't be Bitcoin.
Right.
No one can go and like say, "Hey, you can't print this shit," you know, like because you can't yet to mine it.
Right.
You just go and make it pop up unless you control like 50 plus 1% of the nodes, which is extremely unlikely to happen.
Well, and that's why there's so many different, cryptos, and I don't think we'll ever get to a point where there's a universal currency.
We'll get to there at some point.
Why would everyone use the same currency, though?
Well, when we have a one world government, I think that could happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Will that happen? I mean, it's not a. I mean, hopefully not in my lifetime. Hopefully not my children's lifetime. Hopefully not my children's lifetime. But it'll happen eventually. Maybe at that point we have other planets. You know.
Yes.
It'll probably happen at some point.
Elon will get us to Mars by then.
Yeah, maybe not Elon. Maybe it'll be like his son, like XJ9 or whatever.
Ash.
Ash, fucking Ash ketchup.
I think of Ash versus Evil Dead. So you said there's a limited supply of Bitcoin? Like they can't make more?
Yeah, there's a certain point where it becomes like it's one of those parabolas. I think it's around like 30 some million.
That makes no sense because haven't there already been like there's gotta have been 30 million Bitcoin transactions. Well, one Bitcoin's a lot of money, so
Yeah, like that's how it's done. Like there's some parabolic thing, and it gets extremely hard. Like the further along you go, it gets harder and harder and harder to a point where like it'll be, diminishing returns.
mm-hmm.
Like 0.01 Bitcoin instead of 1 Bitcoin in the future, like 0.001. They'll just keep like it goes smaller and smaller.
Oh, it says
Yeah.
right here on Wikipedia supply limit is 21 million Bitcoin.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, there's something.
But the circulating supply is already at 18.35 million.
Yeah, which means it's gonna be harder and harder.
I bet they'll figure out a way around that or something.
I mean, there's other cryptocurrencies.
Ethereum seems to be like the second biggest, but like Bitcoin is like the go-to still.
Well, the thing with Bitcoin is you can always just go smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mining 1 Bitcoin will be like a half Bitcoin or a third or fourth or 10th or 100th or millionth. But then if you still had one single Bitcoin, you'd be like fucking Elon Musk.
Right.
Like owning a fucking party hat in RuneScape, it's like it's worth a lot of money, man.
I think it's gonna be really exciting because I think more and more this shit's gonna become normalized. Like that, what's it called? BitPay. They work with MasterCard on their thing. There's another one I've been looking at called Crypto.com. I don't know who they work with, but you've seen the credit card companies take it seriously. You're seeing Tesla take it seriously. You're seeing other companies take it seriously. I was never a crypto guy because I kind of thought, I don't get what the hype is about because this really isn't mainstream yet. But this is the first time to me it's felt like it's actually getting into the mainstream. Doesn't mean it'll be successful, but I think Bitcoin's got a bright future, at least in the short term.
It's been going for a while. I think it's still very volatile right now. I would be very hesitant to invest a lot of money into it.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. Like these people I see where they're trying to convert their whole life savings into. I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
It's a risky move. Like that's the thing. Like, don't convert your entire life savings into anything. That's just, fucking sound financial advice. Just be very careful whenever you do that shit.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I did get some Tesla stock. I got one share.
Oh, speaking of weird shit, what's been going on with the
GME?
stock? Yeah.
It's kind of been the same throughout the whole week. I don't know. Well, next week, or is it next week? I think I'll wait 2 more weeks to get more information, like the next up to date on the short interest. That will kind of tell us where we were 2 weeks ago for in 2 weeks in the future. So when that number comes out, it'll be interesting to see. But right now it's kind of flat. So it's kind of like, maybe it's done, maybe it's not. I mean, there's been weed stock that's been pumped. Like, that was a clear pump because people were saying they were pumping it. And that was happening. But Tesla took a big dip, like a massive dip. Like, they lost almost $100 for a little bit. And then that's why shit I hate. It makes, again, it's so logical. It's like, when I got mine, it was like, I think it was at 815, and at its peak Tesla was close to like 900, and it dropped all the way down. I waited a bit and it dropped more to 815. I was like, all right, should get it now. It looks like it's gonna go up, and I was right for a few hours, and then it dropped to like 787, and then now it's all like after a day it's shot right like $1 more than what I paid for. So I'm like, whatever, it's fucking stocks, bullshit. It'll go back up though.
So why don't you go and use the internet to go and learn about economics?
Dude, fuck economics, man.
You got nothing better to do. Watch that. And
I have anime to jerk off to. That's more important.
That's true.
I'm kidding. Friendly
You should have listened to me, dude.
On
Should have
what?
listened to me.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know.
Should have listened to me. I had a good week this week too.
Hey, I gained $1. I had a good week.
I gained. Well, let's see. What was it? I think. Well, let's see. It's 1, 2, 3. About 1,500. Not a bad week.
1,500. So what are you invested in?
I invest in. I just invest in. Well, a lot of it. Like this week, I kept an eye on a couple of Chinese holding companies or
Oh,
like.
be careful with that shit.
Investing in the
no.
Chi-Coms.
Yeah, but I mean, like Chinese holding companies that are like, I do my homework, but
Yeah, you seen that one physical therapist guy who was in that drop trading or whatever the fuck they call it, where you like buy shit off of the Chinese and then resell it in the U.S.
yeah,
You gotta
nah,
that.
nah. I make sure I do my research and I see like I look at trends and I see there's certain things that I think I got a groove going, and I think it's working, but of course, nothing's for sure when you talk about the stock market and stuff. I mean, everything's crazy. I mean the one thing so with Bitcoin, the one thing that does fucking terrify me is that the dollar. That tells me that because Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all that shit is shooting up like it is. That tells me that
Dogecoin to the moon.
Up and down.
Dogecoin is a
tells-
joke. Like it's supposed to be. Like Elon deliberately
Yeah.
fucks with it to get people some like little money. Like
Yeah.
Bitcoin is to be taken seriously in Ethereum, but not Doge.
Yeah, like for me, I'm like, that tells me that the fucking dollar is fucked. It kind of tells me that the dollar is fucked, but
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about crypto is how it can affect the dollar, especially like I said, if it gets more mainstream traction. I mean, I look at crypto as something too where I could put some of my money into it and get a better interest rate than the fucking banks.
Well, don't you be careful with that too? 'Cause there's some tax shit you start buying crypto.
That's what I've wondered about is how
So
do taxes play into it?
I was on Credit Karma Tax, and they were like, "Did you buy or own or sell Bitcoin during this year?" I was like, "No." So I didn't. But like,
Yeah.
so there's some sort of tax consequence at some level for
Mm-hmm.
that. But I don't know if it's like when you buy it or sell. Because I know with stocks, it's only really when you like sell it or get dividends.
Mm-hmm.
But crypto, I don't know if they treat it like a stock or what.
Oh shit, I better make sure I check see if my stocks got dividends in 2020.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to give you a you'll get some sort of tax document either online or
Yeah, I
IRL.
got an email about that, but I never got anything, and we're running out of time here.
Well, if it wasn't, you might not have had any dividends. Not every stock gets dividends.
I
Some
saw
of them.
that I got some recently, but it was only like a little bit. I don't get the point of it. It's like hardly anything, but
That's what it is. Like, but if you own a lot of stock, those dividends add up, and it's basically like interest, But you don't have to, do anything.
right.
But your stock also gains in value.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the ones
Right.
that I got in actually, let me check the ones I got in when I first got into this silly game. Let's see. I've gained that's one thing I like Robinhood. It doesn't show your gain. Oh. That's funny. I've lost 0.02, so 2 cents. But that's because it's been like plateauing, but I've invested in that for long term, like 3 to 4 to 5 years. Whenever it doubles or triples in value or whatever. But I mean, I look at this shit as like something where I can make a little bit extra money here and there. and stick it to the big guys maybe, but definitely not something you're gonna make big bucks on unless you're like super autistic, like the Big Short guy.
Hey man, I mean, you got nothing else to learn how to play that should be Leafy.
I've been spending most of my time on the piano actually. It's been fun. I actually did a lot today. I've learned pretty much 2 songs technically on it. Like an actual song, not like, oh, the beginning. Like, oh, the part we all know. Like, no, like a proper song.
You learn that shit, whatever the fuck that is.
What's that?
Whatever the fuck is like.
Can somebody translate? Somebody in chat. Turn on your what's it called?
We got 4 people watching. That's probably all fucking us.
Fucking Mozart or some shit.
Turn on your Shazam and maybe we'll pick it up. Shazam! Wow.
Now, whatever happened to that dude? I think did he like beat his wife or something?
He died.
Did he?
Yeah.
How did he die? Was it COVID or something?
No.
Or like...
He died years ago, remember? Oh, the ShamWow dude. Sorry, I was thinking Billy Mays.
Oh, yeah, Billy Mays died a while ago.
Feels like a ShamWow guy. Yeah, what happened to ShamWow though? Oh, it's Valentine's Day officially.
Oh shit, I forgot like that the guy.
You forgot to get your girlfriend over Valentine's Day? What?
Just took her out to fucking eat, man. That was like $100 bucks.
So wait until tomorrow before you start hooking up with girls again. Okay, for all the single men out there. Right. So you did a good job getting rid of your girl before the holiday season, right? So you didn't have to buy her shit. And now, Valentine's Day is here. So just wait until after Valentine's Day so you can avoid buying your chick shit and then just, whatever.
Yeah, that sucks starting a relationship on Valentine's Day.
Fuck you. No, dude, I'm telling you, you think it's bad. Here, yeah, I've done this. If anybody is actually listening at this point, go back to our show from 2 years ago. We did one around this time or like a week after something. Phil goes on probably his funniest rant. It's on Valentine's Day, and I reveal that I have a lady friend in my life. No, I think it's genius, dude, because look at you. You have to spend money on Valentine's Day and you have to spend money on your anniversary. Me, all one day, done. 2 for 1, buy one, get one free. Simple, perfect, smart, efficient.
Well, you should just like did that on. Oh yeah, but you don't have to worry about Christmas.
No, I have to worry about Christmas. What are you talking about? She's not Muslim.
That's not something you have to worry about. I mean, that's like, you mean you kind of, that's pretty smart. Bad for people whose like birthdays on Christmas.
Oh yes, that's rough. That's rough. That's bad. But starting a relationship on a holiday or something, that's how you do it.
Bad because then you have to go and like try to fuck because like at least normally on like birthdays and shit, who's bada.
What?
Chat. We actually have someone still on.
Oh, is that Mel for life? Oh no. It's bada. Still my president. Yeah, sure. Hashtag not my president, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's a pedophile president.
Yes. Allegedly.
The pedophile chief.
By the way, the ShamWow guy, do you want to know where he's born?
Where?
Just take a guess.
Oh, was it like New Jersey?
No. Israel.
Oh, God.
There you go.
We they.
Conspiracies start up. Wait, did that say he was in Breaking Bad? What?
Was he?
Oh, no. It's just an excerpt from the sticky commercial can be seen in the TV show Breaking Bad during season 5, episode 7. Baba Dabba Dabba says Cuomo and Biden like to use ShamWow together. Disavow.
He probably like, slaps his ass with the fucking sham. He's like, ShamWow. Probably uses gonna wipe the fuck come off his mouth.
No, he probably goes, Biden goes, he goes, Sham. Wow. Like Cuomo goes, wow, once he hits
Dun,
him.
dun, 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 dun.
Well,
Breaking but not breaking news.
Whoa.
The
Whoa.
Louisiana GOP has unanimously voted to censure Senator Bill Cassidy over his vote to impeach President Trump.
Good. Now get rid of him.
Yep.
Get him
Get
out.
rid of these fuck- Look, I'm telling you. Look, people are like, oh, censures are. People are like, censures are bad. There's a waste of time. You're not really doing anything. Like, no, you're basically, by censoring them, you're basically telling the rest of the country to please provide somebody that we could primary this piece of shit on. So
Yeah. Well, isn't that the party's job, though, really, to find somebody?
yeah, they need to do a better job in some places.
well, I mean, maybe look,
Because it
if they
really
can't-
comes down to that.
if they can't find nobody, look, we have to come together as a GOP, right?
Come together.
If they have a state, if their state is lagging on effective GOP candidates, hey, we maybe we have to, bring one in from somewhere else, you know.
Yeah, but you
do
can't
that
do that. They gotta live there for years before they can run.
Don't want to be carpetbagger. That's not good.
Uh,
I mean, there's
or maybe there is somebody, in the state that's like,
Right.
maybe that doesn't, that is sharp, is smart, is witty, can do the job, but maybe didn't want to do the job, or maybe like this censure vote basically says, please, we have no confidence in this fucker. Please primary this piece of shit.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with both opinions. Like, I agree it is a virtue signal, but you do make a good point, which is that it kind of does signal like, hey, if you're interested, we're gonna
Yeah.
we're looking for a
We're
primary
definitely
challenger.
available.
Yeah, it's like a job posting. But at the same time, the party, like, they're the ones that really find the candidates. They're the ones that provide the money. They're the ones that provide the ground game. Like, really is still kind of like the party picking things. But, I mean, the bigger thing that really needs to happen, and this is a very low tier thing that most people are going to be like, oh, I don't care about that. But I mean, you gotta work literally from the bottom up and like cleaning house in these stupid committees, in these counties, and working your way up to the, I say the exec positions in the party on the local level, on the state level, the federal level. We still have Romney McDaniel running the RNC, and I don't like her one bit, in my opinion.
Yee.
I should probably cut that part out. But let's see. Leave the GOP is trending on Twitter. Why? Oh, did you see the Lincoln Party and some other people were talking about forming a third party?
Yeah, let's see that happening
Do it.
now.
I hope they do it.
Do it.
Party.
What was that,
Fucking
Alex?
do it, damn it.
Might be the pedophile part that with the Lincoln Party the way it is right now.
I bet they'll call themselves like the Lincoln Party.
God.
I hope they
They're not
do it because they'll separate the cucks like forever. They will know who they all are, and they will all self-deport.
Well, right now, I don't think they're going to do anything because they have enough scandals. I think they're honestly, I think
They're
the
done.
Lincoln Party's done.
Yeah, what they'll do is maybe one or two of their members will start up another group of another silly name and start another grift. Grift's got to keep grifting.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. It's like, that car dealership that gets sued by someone, so they go and go under, then they see another one the same place by the same people the week later.
That's like what Identity Europa does. Like, they realize, shit, being a Wignac group's kind of bad optics. Didn't think of that. I guess we'll call ourselves the American Identity Movement. Yeah, good optics, guys, right?
Yeah, same shit, different ass.
Yeah, it was literally the same people in it, It's like, not fooling me. Republican Senator Cassidy, I voted to convict Trump because he's guilty. Oh. Oh, speaking of, to tie these multiple things together, say what you will about him, but I still think it's hilarious that during this impeachment trial, they were playing Nick Fuentes clips
Yeah, he's doing a lot of free
twice. Twice during the whole thing. When he's saying destroy the GOP metaphorically, in which we basically all agree with, and when he's also talking about like people getting shot and they clip it and you can tell it's out of context, but it's so
Did he say
funny.
Minecraft or something?
What was that?
Didn't he say in Minecraft or something?
No, actually not that time. What he was saying was, if these people can't be held accountable, like what are we gonna do? What can you do? And he said there's nothing we could do. And then he goes, well, you could shoot him, but he said you shouldn't do that. What you can actually do is vote them out, not vote for them. And so it's like they took that out of context. Like, say you will about it, but they did take that out of context. But I think it's funny.
Do you think Nick Fuentes is going to be like brought up over there to like Congress to go and speak or testify?
He's got to
about
testify, yeah. Well, it was funny. Every time they said his name, they were like, Nick Fuentes or Nick Funientes. Like, they kept pronouncing it wrong every time. It's so
fucking
funny.
boomers.
I know. It's like when Charlie Kirk was like, you're part of a white nationalist group. Identity Europa.
He doesn't know how to spell fucking like say Latin shit.
Yeah, it's not Europa.
Fucking Latin needs to be taught back in like schools. Bring back Latin.
Yes. Europa. God, it was such cringe. This is what we have, people. We have on one side these establishment people can't pronounce Fuentes, and then you have these people that say they're MAGA, that say they vote for Trump, and yet like trash him in 2015. They can't say Europa. It's Europa. Europa. So bad. God, so bad. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
What else? Do we have anything else interesting in the news section?
Oh, let's see. Let's go to the news. Oh. Crypto. Oh, apparently Andrew Yang wants to transform New York City into a crypto hub. I actually hope he wins, ironically.
Well, yeah. Well, how do you how do you do that? How do you make it into a crypto hub?
Let's see. Let's read the story. Crypto advocate. I like how they call him crypto advocate Andrew Yang. They show this picture of him like yelling. That's funny. Let's see. So as mayor of New York, the world's financial capital, I would invest in making the city a hub for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Let's see. I tend to think what he means is like he'd like push for businesses to like accept it. Oh, yeah, it doesn't say anything else. That's all he said. Let's go to Twitter. This is where he said it. Let's go to the source. That's what we do here. We go to the source. Yeah, he didn't. Oh, it's just a tweet where this is all he says. As mayor of New York City, the world's financial capital, I would invest in making the city a hub for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. That's all he said.
Yeah, it's nice to go and talk about that, but like, how?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with him in spirit, but where's the practicality here? Don't see it yet, but yeah, so there's that. What else do we have? Oh, the court documents show the FBI can intercept encrypted messages from Signal. That's I don't know how they can do that, but that's scary.
I mean, do they even need to? They can already probably get into your phone either way.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
encrypted.
if you do anything on your phone, just think that an FBI agent can see it.
Yeah, but it's encrypted.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if they can already access your phone.
Well, yeah, but isn't encryption, don't you need like both keys to see the message?
Not if they can like read your phone beforehand. Like, it's all well and good, like if they can go and read the server or whatever. But if they can see what's on your phone, what you're typing, They have a
Right.
keylogger on your phone. What's the difference?
I have to see. I have to read into that more. But there's that. Let's see what else there is. Oh yeah, Twitter permanently banned Project Veritas. James O'Keefe's still on there, but the Veritas account has been permanently banned.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's some more Tom Brady news.
Ooh.
So, in more fuck Tom Brady news, so let's get some context before I say. So during the Super Bowl celebration, right? They basically they had boat celebrations. So
Oh,
a
is
couple
this
of them
about the
had
one where he
boats.
supposedly got drunk?
Yeah. So yeah, likely they partaked in some alcohol, and Tom Brady threw the Super Bowl trophy to Rob Gronkowski from one boat to another. Right.
That's epic. I hope there's a
Right.
video.
Yeah, there is. Actually, there is. Go. Feel free to look it up.
Yo, let's go.
Right.
what they
So.
think about that, like, oh, he's a sore winner or whatever.
So here's the lady. Okay. Lorraine Gross says that Tom Brady's trophy toss is insulting to her family's legacy and would like an apology. Now,
Fuck you.
Lorraine is the daughter of Greg Gross, who's the master silversmith who crafted the very first Lombardi trophy. So it's demeaning to the legacy of my father. Like,
God,
It's literally a football, and he's throwing it like a football.
yeah.
I mean, that's like everything.
I thought it was
Yes.
the coolest thing ever.
Oh, I found the video. Oh my god, what's this? Oh, that was a good throw. Good throw.
It was a solid throw and a solid catch. I'm like,
It was
dude,
underhand too. It wasn't like he like
'cause
willy-nilly
because
threw
that
it.
trophy's heavy too. Keep in mind that trophy's a heavy trophy. So
Oh, the cops there. This is funny.
yeah.
See, I'm the type of look. There's many things where I don't like things being disrespected or whatnot. Like if somebody peed on the Mona Lisa, I'd be like, yeah, this person should be executed. Something like this, I think people get a little too like uptight, a little too like piffy, and like, oh, it's not proper. Where I'm just like, fuck that. It's like when you swear at like a black tie event. It's like, oh my god, they swore. You know, it's like I hate that shit.
He won the fucking trophy. Let him do what the like. You know, he fucking basically won it. Like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah,
he's
he
won enough.
won
Where
it.
okay, there's a common denominator here. You know, like there's other people on the team, absolutely, but you know, he did kind of win.
Yeah,
Mostly him. Like, let's be real.
he was a Chad at the helm.
Now, let's not beat around the bush. You know, so beat around the bush. If it wasn't for him, there would be no trophy for that team.
Yeah.
Nope.
If he was on the other team, the Patriots would have won again.
What's that trophy made of?
Probably silver or gold or something.
Yeah, so it's like indestructible. Like, what's the worst gonna happen? You have to swim to the bottom of the ocean to get it.
Yeah, like someone could have caught it, like, or it could have been dented. But like, do they make a new one every year, or is it the same? They keep reusing it.
I think it's the same one. Like, it gets handed down to each winner or something.
Well, they make new ones.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the big deal? I mean, I get what the deal is, but like, you know, it's a rhetorical statement.
Now,
This
do
is
like,
funny.
do the people who were on the team, like, do they, or I guess they get the rings, right?
Yeah, I think so. The first comment on this video, that's the sign of a man who has won a lot of Super Bowls. Yes. One person is officially a Florida man.
Dude, he's fucking won, man. You can't blame him for that.
I want to travel to Florida so badly now. Once the snow's over, I'll be like, let's go. The audacity of the newscaster to not even name Brait, the man who actually caught the trophy.
Fuck snow.
I love me some snow. This guy can throw anything. Touchdown passes, parties, tantrums, Lombardi trophies, but will never throw in the towel. Yes.
Like, let's be real over here. Like, the fucking snow is the stupidest thing ever invented.
No. Invented?
Invented by God. I don't know. I mean, it's shit.
God works in mysterious ways. STFU.
Snow's AIDS. It's like, it's terrible. Fuck snow, man.
It's pretty. It's nice. It's a change of pace.
So I just looked it up. Just looked up the Vince Lombardi trophy. It's sterling silver, right? It's sterling silver. It's 20.75 inches, like 21 inches. So I told you it's a big fucking trophy.
Yeah,
right?
it's big. It's
and,
huge.
107 ounces.
107. Okay, what's that in pounds?
Wait,
Let me Google that.
Pound.
I don't use ounces.
the value is in excess of $10,000.
So that's nothing for
Yeah, it's
Tom Brady.
nothing. It's 7 pounds. Okay, it's about 7. I'm rounding up 7 pounds.
So that's like, yeah.
It's his trophy. He can jerk off to. He can do whatever he wants. Like, can you imagine? Like, there are probably quarterbacks who probably like jizzed on it or like tried to shove it up a girl's like vagina. Like, there's been far worse things.
I mean,
Trophy up there, right? You know?
if you want to talk about jerking off to hot women, we can have that discussion.
No, we were actually, ironically, Mr. Florida Man, we were talking about Tom Brady and the Super Bowl celebration from whence he threw the Super Bowl trophy to Rob Gronkowski on another boat.
See, this is one of those situations where, like, if he didn't catch it and it like hit the boat, like, yeah, it'd be bad. But he caught it, so no harm, no foul. You know, it's like it's not a crime if they don't catch you.
Some could jump in the water and catch it. You know?
Yeah, I know.
You know.
So I'm assuming, because I just finished my show, I'm assuming you guys talk about Gina Carano too.
Nah, irrelevant story. No, of course we did.
First off, to answer your question, yes, I would smash.
Dude, she's a bit
Second.
big. I mean, height's gonna be a
Well,
problem.
More like she would smash me, but you know what? I'm fine with that too.
I
So,
just but look. So in her movie Haywire, she had a makeout scene with Channing Tatum,
Oh God.
and I really honestly wish that they would have just gone the whole way in front of the camera. That would have been a great thing to see, because those are two beautiful people, and that would have been just great to see. Anyway,
I canceled my Disney Plus subscription. I still have it until the end of the year. So
Good. Fuck
I'm
Disney.
still gonna watch like some of the Marvel stuff, because I figure as long as I still like have it, why not? But yeah, Disney is getting cringe as fuck anyway. So
Yeah, fuck
I'm
Disney
just-
Plus. It's whoever invented that. Like, they don't know how to make their shit right. We had an issue yesterday.
Yeah,
What do
we
you-
were trying to watch because Alex hasn't yet had the unpleasant experience of watching Last Jedi, other bad experience. He has seen Last Jedi. He's been through that pain. Even went through it before me. But this time I went through the Rise of Skywalker before him, and so we finally watched it last night. And we're trying to do like the family sharing multi-view thing where like you watch it, the other person can watch it, and when I hit pause, it pauses him. Yeah, great idea. Didn't work. So he had to fucking shill out the money for Disney Plus. Well, to do that anyway, he had to shill out the money, but because they got rid of the free trial. The free trial is gone. because they probably realized, oh shit, a bunch of teenagers like moi were just getting a free trial, binging The Mandalorian, and saying, okay, bye, and then getting their trial next season. So he had to get it, and make sure, by the way, Alex, they auto renew, so keep your eye on that.
Oh yeah, they do.
So be very careful. Mark your calendar when it's been a month. And so we watched it when we were trying to do the family share thing. The sound was like completely off. It was like duplicating on your
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, it was like an echo, and it was like every single thing. I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with this?"
Yeah, it was really weird. And so we finally just watched it separately, but hit start at the same time. That movie's still a monstrosity. He almost fell asleep.
Yeah, it was almost worse than the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That dude, I was in the fucking movie theater for that movie, and then apparently Sean had the same experience. There was someone literally snoring.
Oh,
They literally
at Rise Skywalker.
No, it was the one where didn't you say you had one where someone was sleeping in the theater and snoring really loud?
I don't think so. It might have been a different movie.
I saw that. Nah, I remember someone was like literally sleeping in the fucking movie theater.
As you said at the time, that guy's got the right idea.
Yeah, it was shit. I don't know, man. Star Wars has gone to shit ever since Disney got their fucking Mickey Mouse mitts on it.
So has Marvel.
Well, they've had Marvel since Iron Man.
Dude, I think they were shit. I never liked Marvel. I think superhero movies, for the vast majority of them are just garbage.
Oh, how dare you?
The only good one I saw in the last fucking decade, it's not even a superhero movie, would have been Joker, because it's, at least it was something different, and it was a villain. I like to see the villains, the anti-hero. It's like Breaking Bad, it's like he's a fucking villain, but he's still fucking cool.
Yeah, the superhero movies that I really like are always the ones that are more like movies and less like superhero movies, Like, my favorite will always be Dark Knight. I'd say my second favorite is probably Incredibles. My third favorite's probably what the fuck? It's slipping my mind. I'd say Iron Man, then Joker. Like, that's how I'd rank them.
Incredible could probably stretch that ass all across the fucking floor.
What?
Fucking incredible. Or that, yeah.
This is incredible, the stretchy one.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh, so incredible. Yeah, I mean, well, all those are like really unique. They're interesting, and they kind of like they're really. I mean, they are superhero. They're movies with superheroes in them rather than superhero movies.
Yeah, so.
And Logan, by the way, Logan's really good too.
Logan is good. I mean, the first like 3 Iron Man movies I would say are pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I really like the first Iron Man. That's probably my favorite Marvel movie.
The Daredevil Netflix series is pretty good too, but then again, that's not really canon anymore.
Oh, really? Did they like pull a Disney with the Star Wars EU and just like, nah, it's not legit anymore?
Well, yeah, that's essentially what that's what they did.
That's stupid. So, what do you think about Benji scooping up Gina for a movie?
I was gonna ask you the same question. Are you gonna subscribe to the Daily Wire now?
Oh, fuck no. No. And The Mandalorian too. I'll find other ways to watch it with Daily Wire and Benji. From everything I've heard about Benji, if I were to guess, he's doing this for him and him only, but I do appreciate that it helps her.
What if Benji weren't involved in the company though? Would you then?
I'd be more likely. Depends if some of the other people were still there, like Matt Walsh and some of these other ones. But Benji's the real problem for me. I don't know why Candace joined him.
I mean, I think I've told you I subscribed to the Daily Wire like about a year ago just to see how it was. Um, and I mean, Ben's not my favorite person on there, but like I think I might actually keep my subscription now, if only to support Gina, and because I do, admittedly, Michael Knowles is the only one I like on there. So
Yeah, he's probably the best of all of them, but even him, I'm kind of just like, he's kind of boring for my taste. That's just my style. But see, like, here's the other thing, too. Like, I go right into Daily Wire's website, and this is why I'm, like, iffy on Ben's intentions. First thing I see is Gina Carano announces movie deal with Daily Wire. Get 20%, 5% off with the code GINA. And look, I don't blame it to a degree, because marketing's marketing, but I get the feeling he's going to be really using her to help him. And she's probably going to do one movie with him, and that's it. Now, is it a smart business move? Yes. As long as you have good intentions.
Well, so I know that you might not like hearing this, Sean, but I will say, you know, like even if it's the Daily Wire, I'm glad that there is a conservative movie studio out there now.
I agree, but would you call the Daily Wire conservative?
I mean,
because Benji is never Trump. No matter how many times he tries to say,
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean-
Trump now.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm omitting, I'm kind of omitting Ben from this equation.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at it is what in Geeks and Gamers, actually, they're a YouTube channel I follow. They actually had a good commentary on this because they're kind of where we are. They're not big Shapiro fans either, but they are conservative-ish, and they're like, look, forget Ben Shapiro. We're just happy that there's a studio out there finally that's not like uber far left.
Right.
And so like, I mean, look, Ben, like, you guys are kind of lucky in that you're not tied to Shapiro as much as I am. I made my bones with Ben, more or less. So I am, I am kind of tied to him somewhat. But
Yeah, I understand that. No, I get it. And I know a lot of people are like, there's people that took them a while to like come see like and eventually dislike him. For me, it was like I was never a fan, and now I just despise him for the most part. But like I said, I'm glad that somebody's helping her. I'm glad that she is getting help, even though I think Ben's doing all for himself. I mean,
we'll
yeah.
see. I mean, I've heard that there were some other names, big names who could actually be getting, who might be leaving the Hollywood system. So namely like Christopher Nolan is not like a big fan of the way Hollywood is going.
Oh, really? Has he said anything recently?
Well, like I know that the left is calling one of his movies like problematic now.
Oh God, it's probably Dunkirk. I bet it's Dunkirk.
Yeah, and then Quentin Tarantino has no love for really the Hollywood press anymore because back when Santahook happened, they basically like blamed Santahook on not only InfoWars but also on Quentin Tarantino movies being so bloody. So
well, these guys though, they can. The difference between them and the Daily Wire though is that with a good example, this is Tom Cruise. You get to a certain level, you can produce your own movies. You can have your own production company. You don't need other people. That's why Tom Cruise can do all the stunts he does, is because he's the one that can say yes and no. There's nobody above him. And so, yeah, Quinn or Nolan, they could easily just, I mean, I think Pulp Fiction was technically at the time an independent film. I know it was like Weinstein was like funding his shit, but you know, these guys can do it. But Ben Shapiro, you know, he's got a shitload of money. Like, he doesn't have Hollywood like level money,
Right.
and he's funded
Well-
by them. That's the funny part.
Well, what I'm hoping though is that other conservatives kind of start to, you know, like, yeah, again, it's Daily Wire. I know that, but like I'm hoping that like other conservatives actually get serious and maybe start to like form their own studios as well. You know, like
Clint
that's-
Eastwood should do that.
I
John
mean,
Voight, James Woods, you know. What would be cool is, like, what if these people like Candace are getting into the Daily Wire to kind of like, I don't want to say infiltrate, but, you know, kind of reform it, work their way up.
Yeah, well that
Candace.
Yeah, I don't know either, but, you know, I'm hoping for the best. Because it's interesting with her, ever since she got off Turning Point, ever since she got off PragerU, ever since she got off these like big donors, she's a bit more outspoken on Twitter. She starts tweeting about those, you know, remember the jokes people would make about like black crime statistics, like only, you know, what commits 50% of crimes, so makes up like 13% of the population, whatever.
Yeah.
She started making edgier little things like that. Like, not exactly like that, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't trust her. I think she probably is involved with some of that grift wagon.
Yeah, I've heard that from quite a few. I don't know. I really don't know, because she's got some weird stuff in her past, like with that doxing site. So I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Sam, for the most part. It's just like, because I do want conservative studios. I do appreciate that Gina's getting something, but man, I wish
Yeah.
it was in better hands and it wasn't somebody that I know that's just out for himself and is just doing this for more money for him, more subs for him. It's really what I think
Well-
it's all about.
Well, from what I'm hearing, basically they're just the distributor, but they're giving Gina money to do what she wants, which, I mean, that seems to be, if that is what if all the Daily Wire is doing is distributing the thing and then giving her money to like do her film, I'm fine with that. So
Yeah,
um,
that'd be cool. I mean, this is how I'll look at it. I'll find a way to see it because I'll definitely watch it. And if I like it, I'll find a way to directly give her money or something to feel like I paid for the movie. I just don't want it going
Yeah.
into Benji's pocket.
well, hopefully they'll like have a way you can actually like buy a copy of it or something. like that.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, then it still might go into, but maybe not as much. So
Right. Yeah, he's going to take a cut. Like, he's going to have some royalty sort of cut on it.
I mean, to be fair, though, like, let's be real. You buy any Hollywood movie, there's going to be some person not much unlike Ben Shapiro on the receiving end
Right.
of money.
No,
Right,
I
like-
agree.
At least he's better than Harvey Weinstein.
Or is
yeah,
he?
Don't say-
nah.
No, I agree. But, you know, Harvey Weinstein.
You know what a wet pussy is useful for, so you don't like rape people that much.
That's true. He's probably closest he's probably been to a pussy is when he shook hands with Jeb Bush.
It's good.
My wife is a doctor, folks,
Oh,
and admittedly she's the hotter.
that's actually a good fucking Benji impression.
And admittedly, she's like the hottest one in the family. But like, so that's why I always brag that like my wife is a doctor. But
Oh god, he's like bragging about, like, I'm not saying it's in a negative way, but like Ben really likes highlighting those Jewish stereotypes.
Yep.
Uh,
It's like,
yeah, yeah. It's
eh,
his wife is a doctor, and he's now heading up his own movie studio. So, um,
yeah, it's
you,
funny.
in a way, though, I do kind of think that Ben hiring him, Apex and I actually made this comment. I think that Ben hiring her actually might have been the best thing though, because think about it. They're accusing her of being an anti-Semite.
That's
Yet she
true.
just yet she just got hired by the Jewiest Jew um that ever did Jew, at least on the right. So
Yeah, that's a good point. We also talked about, and there's another allegation that I want to mention before we wrap at some point, but we mentioned too that in Hollywood and all this shit, there's been allegations against Marilyn Manson, shit with like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, but there's also ones floating around of Joss Whedon, who's a writer. I don't know if he's directed anything, but he's one of the big Marvel like writers, I think. Yeah.
oh yeah, Joss Whedon, I guess. Yeah, he and I mean now to be clear too, like it's not just over the Gina Carano thing why I canceled Disney Plus. I also canceled Disney Plus because Disney is also like making fun of Star Wars fans proper now, like it like saying stuff that like, well, the High Republic, that's not for white people, you know,
What? Did
like,
they say that?
oh yeah, did
I
you not
missed
catch?
that one.
So
Let me look that
so
up.
about like 2 weeks ago, Disney put out this tweet like saying that they will not stand for racism, and that they, you know, that they like support diversity and tolerance. Um, but the creator of like the new High Republic series
Mm,
is basically like a Black Lives Matter activist, and she basically said, "Well, I didn't write that series for, you know, for like white males, so they can fuck off."
What is this High Republic?
it's like it's kind of trying to be like a new version of the Old Republic. Like it takes place like I think like right after the Old Republic or something. But what people have been talking about ever since this thing was incepted. It's a comic, by the way, and they're making a show version of it that has a different name. Um, the thing that people started taking notice of was like the rampant diversity, and the person that they hired to do this, to write this, she's a major, like, super far lefty. Like, calling her just a Black Lives Matter activist is like, only the tip of the iceberg here. Like, she is out there wacky. So it's like people have been speculating, oh, it's gonna be some big SJW comic, basically, and that's what it is.
And I mean, she's basically said it's not for, you know, white male. So it's like, well, if it's like, well, if you guys don't want me to watch your stuff, then why am I giving you my money? So,
Oh, Metal
you
for
know,
Life says that we're not very Christian-like. You're not very Christian-like. What was that?
That's true.
Yeah, yeah, it is. But no, it's like, oh yeah, I found the tweet you were talking about, Sam. I finally found it. So her name is Christina Aurelia. She said,
yeah.
watching two white men discuss racism they will never experience will never sit right with me. Hashtag debates 2020. And then she said, um, oh wait, maybe this is not over the High Republic, but it's over that. But that the debate and the racism and all that. She says, white men, this is not the subject for you to try and speak authoritatively in my comments. I say what I said. Bitch.
Oh well. Star Wars having more diversity bullshit put in there, it's not really surprising. I stopped putting any trust in that series since the
Force
yeah,
Awakens.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not giving a shit.
Here's the thing though. You know, they say it's diverse, but is it really? Because they say they're for diversity, but when it comes to overseas, oh, we can have John Boyega, one of our main stars on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
So, American racism, that's not okay. And it's not, but, Chinese racism, that's fine because we have to appeal to the Asian
Yeah, for
markets.
monies. That's what it
So,
comes down to. Is Disney, they just care about money. They're a pretty awful company, actually. When you look into like
oh,
how many
they
pedophiles they've hired and kept.
well, yeah, well, and not just that, but like the fact that like okay, so people had and like okay, I didn't get emotional like to the extent where I was crying over Luke Skywalker returning to to Star Wars and the Mandalorian, but some people did, and like one of the premier YouTubers that like does
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
theory.
stuff,
Yep.
yeah, like he did have an emotional reaction in the back.
It's out in the Mandalorian.
Oh,
I mean,
spoilers.
In the oops, sorry, Alex. Um, and I mean, one of the reasons why is because like he had cancer, I guess, growing up as a kid, and so like I guess Luke Skywalker was like an inspirational character that like helped him get through that. So like, seeing Luke Skywalker like brought back a lot of memories for him, and one of like one of the main like heads of Lucasfilm like openly mocked him on Twitter,
Yeah,
and then
Pablo Hidalgo.
like didn't apologize for it at all.
He doubled
Until like
down. He put in his freaking Twitter banner.
yeah, so I mean like yeah, so they're scummy people in several ways, but also like the fact that they're now openly mocking their fans who have supported them for decades, it's like yeah, it's like you guys don't even want our money anymore. So and it's very sad. They're pushing away the fan base
Oh
of
yeah,
like
I mean,
actual fans.
yeah, and that's what they've been doing, and they were finally bringing fans back with bringing the Clone Wars back, bringing the Mandalorian. It was bringing fans back, and then they're fucking it up again with ruining great things like Disney always does. And I mean, look, if I create a piece of artwork and somebody cried over it, I would be, I don't want to say I'd cry myself, but like I would just be so moved by that. That's something I did. Something like a silly TV show or like a silly painting or song or whatever it is that I maybe didn't, it's just like all this like, fantastical stuff. And
I
it moves somebody to the point of tears. That would make me feel like, wow, what I'm
well
doing
like
really matters. This is great.
I will tell you that like I actually have gotten like a few DMs from people on Twitter before where like they're like hey man, I really like your show, like listening to your podcast and watching you and and just like listening to you and Apex like joke around like or you and Sean help me like get through the day during quarantine or stuff like that. Like even that to me, I'm like, wow, I'm a no one. I'm like a nobody, but like
Mm-hmm.
if I made someone's like day better during their commute, whatever, like even that means a lot to me. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I learned at, somewhat young age is that, everything you do affects everyone around you. I mean, maybe not so literally or not everything, but the point being like be conscientious of your actions, be nice to people, be a good person, and you can make everybody a little better. Maybe in the
I mean,
smallest ways you wouldn't imagine.
I do try and I do. I mean, look, I understand that you're not going to please everyone 100% of the time, but when it comes to, I mean, certainly my friends, but also, people who listen to the show, and who do enjoy the show, and even those people who, might not agree with me but still enjoy the show, I do take the time to try and, reply to DMs and messages because it does mean a lot to me, and it means a lot. I know you guys are the same way. It does mean a lot to me that people actually do listen to my little podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we'd get those people sometimes on the radio. I remember we had a few that were like, "Oh, I listen every week," and we're like, "What? No way!
yeah,
You give a shit about us every week?"
it's humbling. Yeah.
This is a great Babylonian Bee headline. Gina Carano rehired by Disney after she identifies as an abusive male director. Yeah, it sums it up. And, I think you probably know this too, Sam, but Disney also filmed Mulan in the area where China has concentration camps for Muslims.
Apex was like trying to get me to cancel my subscription back then, and I was like, well, I pay, for it yearly. Like I signed up annually, and like I saved like $30 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, it's like it's harder to do the thing of like, of like voiding it and then, like doing all that stuff. So I'm like, well, I already paid for it, but like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like that I think that was a big red flag for a lot of people. Like, and that's the thing. Like I said, I don't think Gina is the reason why people are canceling, but I think Gina was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think with most people, they'll hear about things like, oh, Nike makes your t-shirts in sweatshops in China with slave labor, and they don't really care. For whatever reason, they don't care. But when they see something that really hits them, and they really feel or see like they're not going to see their favorite character anymore, it kind of like makes them actually do something or give a shit a bit. But I think, too, what's the bigger picture here, that's something I said earlier, is, yeah, Gina's this big Hollywood actress. Well, she was becoming big, I should say. That's she's somebody that's wealthy, that's got money. Think of what this is like, this cancel culture on the micro scale or on our scale. Because I know you posted this tweet, Alex, and I don't know if it's legit, but there's theories that there are lists going around, that companies are making lists for corporations where they'll know when they are looking at people in job hunts, oh, is this person an NRA member? Is this person likely to be conservative? Is this person been affiliated with conservative groups? Like, I'm not trying to say this is a thing already, but we'll definitely get to a point where corporations will have lists or will be able to access databases to find out if you're a conservative or if you're a Trump supporter or something like that. Because, look, I've been applying for jobs over the past like few months. This week I really went at it. I was doing like 100 job apps a day. And there's a lot of reasons why I probably got rejected from all of them except one. Only one I landed an interview from the hundreds I did. Could be COVID. Could be I'm not qualified enough. I don't know. But there's a part of me that really wonders, do they Google my name? Do they see the turning point stuff? Do they see the pro-Trump stuff I've done? Do they see me with the wall on Old May Lawn with the MAGA hat holding 2 Trump signs? Did they see that and go, yep, can't have that. Throw that one in the trash. I don't know, because I know HR's got their little algorithms where they see things, but part of me wonders, because everybody gets worried. I know at Penn State, we'd have people that wouldn't be in photos, that wouldn't put shit on their resumes, it's conservative related, they wouldn't be a conservative thing because they were worried about jobs. And it's a legitimate fear, but I wonder how legitimate is it? Is it really hard to get a job if you're a known Trump supporter?
I mean,
I think I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
I think
maybe
so
not.
too, but I wonder how bad is that problem? I mean, it'd be interesting to A/B test this. We have one person that's like publicly MAGA, person that's super quiet, and same qualifications, same everything. Does one get the job? Interviews more than the other, and how frequently? Like, is it a total blacklisting across the board, or is it like you get your lucky break where you get like a conservative like CEO that takes a chance?
Well,
Good question.
But do you have anything else you want to discuss, Sam? Because we'll probably close out in a few minutes since we've been going for about 3 hours, I bet, or more.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else. Other than I will just say I'm glad that Trump, got. I knew he wasn't gonna get impeached. So.
Yeah. Well, he was impeached. He just wasn't punished.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So. But nope. I can't. I just want to know what your opinion on the whole Gina thing was. So.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
Team Gina for sure. Gina Carano did nothing wrong. It's really the first thing I sent out on social media when I heard about this. I was like, Gina Carano did nothing wrong.
Hashtag we love Gina Carano. So.
Yes. Did you see too? Last thing I'll mention is that Hasbro canceled her toy line.
Well, her action figures are gonna go through the roof in value on eBay now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, dude. I mean, they were gonna like start this like new line, and then they canceled it. They're like, oh no. So, yep, that's the sad fate of Gina. The only thing I was surprised was that she stayed on for so fucking long, dude. Because remember we talked about this? We're like, how is she still on the show?
Yeah. Now I do want to give credit where credit is due. Carl Weathers, aka Apollo Creed, supported her.
Well, even Pedro supported her, but like, have they both been radio silent since the firing?
Well, okay, so like Apollo hasn't said anything, but like again,
They probably can't.
Did I just call? I called Apollo. I called Carl Weathers Apollo. That's hilarious. He always will be Apollo Creed to me. Well,
Yes.
he is friends with Sylvester Stallone, so I'm not surprised that so he's used to being friends with conservatives. But he's been radio silent. I know that Pedro did the whole, he, him. My sister is a transgender person now.
Oh God.
So like he hasn't said anything about Gina, but like he's going in for major, virtue signaling now. So.
Oh God. I do like when Gina put her pronouns in her profile as beep boop bop.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, she's great. But that's all we have for today. So to the 2 people watching, you can like, subscribe, share. Forgot to plug that in the beginning. Like, subscribe, share Sam shit too. Go at Sam W_NGC on Twitter and Sam Whitfield on the YouTube verse.
And also at Sam Whitfield on Gab and
yes. The other Sam Whitfield clone didn't steal your handle this time.
Nope, and I'm also verified on Gab and Mind as well.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week.